is up, people? So, I listened back yesterday. I'm going to make sure today that I try to do as little typing as I can as I stream, because I noticed that there is a wonderful little clicking sound in the background. And I do apologize for that. So I'm going to make sure I try to keep that from happening. Again, life with a new mic is a little difficult. But with that said, I was going to address a video that Chris Berry wanted me to watch. And the problem with his video is an hour long, and I'm not really sure what part he wanted me to watch. But if he did want me to watch the very beginning, Chris, if you're listening, at 1 minute and 21 seconds is where I would assume that boat is going around the curve, but because I don't have a location and or the distance in which that boat is away from the observer, it's kind of difficult to give you a straight answer or a correct answer as far as that is concerned. I'm pretty sure you realized that when you gave that to me, so there you go. I addressed that. Nothing really big at all. I mean, at all to talk about. I listened in on a Jose's show. Kind of jumped in there for a second to hear what George, Jesse, and the Mind of God were talking about when it comes to this test coming up that they're talking about planning out and arranging. It sounds good in theory. I'm going to say the same thing I said over at Jose's, and I told Mind of God yesterday. You do understand, again, that you're going to be getting answers from numbers that need to be interpreted into a visual plane. You know what I mean? On a piece of paper. So, like I said, I think he needs to brush up on his surveying and how those data readings will correlate on to let him know where he lives. What else did I have in mind? Nothing in mind. I'm going to go ahead and throw that link out there right away, and we'll go from there. But one of the things I wanted to talk about were observations. That's obviously where the start of an answer would come from when it comes to where do we live. And again, you have to make sure you realize that in comparison to the Earth, what we see in our immediate area when you look around, at best, is somewhere in the range of 0.0000003% of the Earth. And if you don't understand how little of a percentage that is out of 100, it's kind of it's nothing compared to it. When you really get down to the grassroots of it, it's nothing. So thinking right now, if you have an observation that you want me to look at, let me know. Put the link in the chat. I'll go over it. But the realization that what you see in your immediate area, it doesn't work to figure out where we live. Why? Because you're not seeing enough. When it comes to the horizon, quote unquote, the curve, that boats do seemingly go over, it's probably the best you'll have as an observation wise when it comes to what observations can we make. It's the easiest one to make. It's the least amount of tools you need. So just wanted to say that. How you doing, Chris? I'm good to see that you got some time to jump on real quick. How you doing?
Hey, I have a few minutes. Are we talking about the video I sent you, or just in general?
I was talking just in general, but I mean, I don't mind talking about the video you put in the server earlier. If you'd like, I'll go ahead and pull it up real quick because I have it queued up.
Sure, pull it up.
To go. And what you were talking about is in the beginning of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, just hitting play at 000 will get you there.
Okay, so what I got, or what I was looking at the time, right before I went on, just so you know, and I'll give you the answer right away, right about here at about 110. I think it's 110, or this right here about. Yeah, I think it's 110. I'm not sure how long it is where I believe I would say that the boat is showing to be going over a curve. Now, here's a problem with this analysis of this video, and I couldn't give you a 100% because, man, this is some crappy videoing again.
Okay, but that's not crappy videoing. It's just getting further away, and the light, right, is dissipating, and you can't see it as well.
I can show you things that are, I guarantee, are further away that are clear. This is not a clear image.
Do me a favor. Start from the beginning. Let's watch together. Okay, so starting here. How clear is that? Is that pretty clear?
That's not very clear.
It's not clear. You can't make out pretty much entirety of the boat.
Oh, I can make it out. That's for sure. But it's not a very. I couldn't give you a detail. Like if I said, if you ask me right now, where exactly is the exact water in the boat in the refraction happening, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Not in one part in this whole video would I be able to.
Okay, just pause it here for me, will you?
Yep.
Let's just talk about this part. So we see an inferior again, right? You sort of see the same pattern, the same things over and over again, depending on which type of observation you're looking at. But you see an inferior mirage line that the boat is above, and then there's seemingly a gap between the boat and what looks like the apparent horizon, right?
You see where my cursor is?
Yes.
I believe that's about where it would be, where I would perceive it to be.
Yeah, that's pretty close, right in there. But my point is, so from your cursor to the blue line, what is that? What is the boat on from your cursor to the blue line?
It's an inferior mirage.
But what is it? Is it floating in air, or what is it on?
It's on water, yeah.
Okay, so why can't we see that water?
Because of the inferior mirage.
Okay, so is that water, at that point, is it curving or is it flat?
It's curving down, I believe. So it would be mirroring anything you're seeing. It would be mirroring it under it.
No, I'm saying is the water that the boat is on, not talking about the mirage, is that water, is it flat or is it curved?
What do you mean?
So the water.
I'm going to say it's going to be pretty level and flat, so to speak, based on just the fact that you don't have a very wide angle either.
Well, what is the angle? What do you mean?
It's not very wide. Right? So I mean, what are you saying curve? Because if what we're looking at now, I don't know the distance. I don't know how far away. I don't know how far this boat is trapped. Like, you're giving me a picture and going, tell me everything you can about this, and it's not very much.
No, I'm just asking, does it look like it's curved or flat or what?
It looks pretty choppy. I would be my first. I wouldn't give you an answer for do I see curve in it or is it flat, because it's not the quality isn't good enough to give you an answer.
Okay, that's fine. So just hit play and let's keep going and let's see what we observe.
I just so see the wake right here in the front where my cursor is?
I think so.
That would probably be where I'm looking at to figure out where the boat actually is on the water. So back where these little spots are, just so when you see it and it's bouncing in it, that shows you a pretty clear idea of where the boat really is. Because that splash doesn't reflect.
So again, you let me know when you think it's starting to go over the curve, and if so, why?
It'd probably be somewhere in this range, and in my opinion, let me get to it exactly.
So to me, it looks like it's elevating, right? It looks like that the mirage has gotten bigger, and the gap between the mirage line and the what appears to be the water line has gotten bigger too.
Okay.
So how could it be going over anything if it appears to be going either up or sort of, the gaps are getting bigger between the two?
Can you show me the exact line where the mirage ends and the boat begins?
Yeah, well, you can see the fold between the two blue pieces of the boat. You can see where the blue part is mirrored.
Here?
Yeah, about right there.
I would say differently. I say about here.
Well, no. You can see the white. There's white between the blue a little bit, and then from blue to white to blue is the mirror. Is actually right in the middle of those two blue pieces is the mirror line.
Okay. Do you see this house right to the right of it?
Yes.
Do you see how it's doing? It's not It's reflecting on there, but but that line would be somewhere else. For instance,
well, the line.
where my cursor is.
So that's another interesting thing is that those two, the mirror line of the boat and that house thing, are different. Because again, the farther out you go, the bigger that mirror line becomes.
Okay, but that's not what I asked. So where the house one is, the mirage was about where my cursor is. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so and then you think where my cursor is now is about where the mirage for the boat is, right?
Yes.
Okay, now can you show me where you see the line that would designate where these mirages, the two mirages we just looked at, start and end and mix with each other?
Well, I don't know that they do.
Well, they do, because we know that the house has a mirage going on effect right now.
But they're different distances. See, that's what I just
You're right.
saying.
But, okay, so what's the distance of that house?
I don't know the total. It's further than the boat.
So to tell me or to answer the question I asked you, you would need to know how far that boat is from that house.
Well, I don't know that your question is answerable because there's two separate objects with two separate mirage lines due to the variance in distance.
Yeah, but if we knew the distance, we would know how much of that infraction mirage is going on. Wouldn't we?
You could you're saying you're like looking to figure out like a formula of,
well, if that boat is at 2 miles away, we could use that distance to figure out how much of that is mirage and how much of that is boat, correct?
Possibly.
Okay, and so possibly, and the same is a possible for the house right next to it, right?
Possibly.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are ways to figure out, what's mirage and what's not mirage, right?
Well, you can tell what's mirage and what's not mirage just by the fold line.
Okay. Well, for one, again, the problem with this is that it's again not clear. I wish you'd come with a clear one. This other problem that you've
There's
said.
no such thing as a not clear one. That's the problem.
No. Wait. Here's the problem. There's ones that are in focus and there's ones that are not. You keep showing me unfocused one because I can go and find one. I bet you within 2 minutes of the same situation with the infraction or refraction, and I guarantee you it will be clear. Because refraction, the refraction or infraction, infractional mirages, they do not go clear to the top of those trees, but yet those trees are insanely out of focus.
Let me tell you a problem with the globe modeler theory.
Wait. Let's focus on this image because it's.
No, I'm talking about this image.
Okay, but hang on. Can you answer that question? Why are the tops of the trees out of focus?
Because they're like really far away.
Okay, can I show you? If I find an image or a video where the foreground and the background is clear, will you understand why I'm saying this is a very crappy audio or video to watch? For what you're asking, the reason I make it very vague on where that boat is going over a quote unquote curve is because I have no idea the distance. I don't even know where this place is. For all I know, it's 150 degrees on that location, and that boat is 2 miles away, and then therefore I wouldn't see it going over a curve. But that mirage, the reason it is called a mirage is because it gives you a false sense of where that boat is. So wait, what is a mirage?
Well, there's different kinds of mirage.
Okay, name one mirage, any mirage, name one that does not change the observation from what it actually looks like.
This mirage doesn't change the mirage is below the boat, so everything above the mirage is the actual real boat.
Okay, that's not what I asked. But between the boat and the clear looking water, for both sides of the mirage, I guess you would say, we see a boat, and then
use your cursor.
Okay, so the boat, from where my cursor is up is the boat. Where my cursor is now is the water with no mirage down, correct?
I don't know where the mirage ends, but let's just assume that's where it ends. Yes.
But yeah, between the area between where I just was pointing is mirage, and the rest,
Yes.
like the bottom of the picture or the video, that's not a mirage. That's what the water looks like, right?
We'll make that assumption and I'll say yes.
Well, it's not an assumption. I'm looking at it. Well, anyway, my
Well,
point
it is
is
an assumption because you would have looked at that blue line without this boat and said, "Oh, there's the water. There's the hard horizon line."
No, I would have noticed that there was a mirage, and I would have adjusted accordingly to where I believe it is. But because there's a mirage, where we are, that changes the observation from what it is without it. That boat that looks like it's hovering above the real water that we see, that's a mirage. Now, if that mirage was not there, would we see that?
Would you see what?
That boat appearing to be above the actual water line.
Yes, you would.
Without the mirage.
Yes.
So you're telling me what we're looking at now would be there without the mirage?
Well, even if the answer is no, that doesn't. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Well, I can explain it right now. I can explain it right now because when I said to you that the mirage gives you a false appearance of what's really going on, you said no. But it clearly does, because that is why there is something called a mirage. That is something. Well, that's why we know there is something called refracting and infracting. We know that because it gives us a false sense of the observation we're looking at.
What are you saying is false about it, that we can't look at that and say the real boat is above the inferior mirage and it's on a flat, level surface of water?
You can't say it's on an inferior mirage. You would just say that the observation you're making of the boat has an inferior mirage. Because you don't know where that mirage ends or ends. You right now, you can't tell me. Can you tell me where the mirage ends and begins in this?
Yes. Okay. You just did it a minute ago.
Yeah. Right where my cursor is,
so
right?
It begins there.
Yeah, okay.
And it ends right about there.
Okay, perfect. Because a minute ago you weren't willing to say that's where the water line is.
No, yeah, I was. That's where the water line is.
You weren't. You were very reluctant. You wanted to tell me that we didn't know where that line, if that was the actual line of it. But regardless, I'm kind of digressing. Again, the reason there is a mirage, the reason we call it a mirage, no matter what type it is because the observation that we're looking at is giving us a false sense of it. That's what a mirage is. So, how you can tell me where all that stuff is in this very, very out of focus?
Because we know how mirages work. We know what they're doing. We know the cause. Mm-hmm. And we know what we're looking at. That's
perfect. Okay, so then how would you create a mirage to bend up or down on a flat Earth?
Temperature variation.
Because you also know that when
I just told you, wait, why are you moving?
Yeah, temperature variations. Perfect. Okay, perfect. I heard you.
Okay,
perfect. So like when you do that and say that, you understand that if it was a flat surface, when the sun's rays and the temperatures that vary, the light wouldn't bend in a upward like in that fashion. It would be more diagonal, be further away. It wouldn't look like that. The reason that we get these mirages, the reason why mirages don't happen 10 feet from your face is because of the curve. You understand that, right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, well, you should, because that's why everything.
So you're saying right now this boat is going over a curve. Is that what you're saying?
I can't tell you that. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not saying.
You just said that based on mirages.
I'm not using any of this video as evidence for either way, because it is.
But you're saying mirages can only happen on a curve, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, the same way. The way the light reflects through something, say like a church window, it has to reflect at a certain angle for it to get that rainbow effect. Well, the light has to reflect at a certain angle to make these mirages happen. And it doesn't do it on a flat surface. That's why. Now look. I want to show you something. else.
It does it on a flat surface. What we don't know is if it does it on a curved surface.
Okay. Do you see the mirage line where it starts in the water? Where my cursor is?
Can you use your cursor?
It's under the boat. See it?
All right, your cursor isn't on the screen anymore.
maybe it's yours, but okay. So where the mirage and the blue water meet, the lower part.
Okay, can you wait? Are you saying that the top portion of that boat isn't really there?
No, absolutely not. No,
Okay.
I'm trying to make a point to you because
Well,
right now I want to show.
yeah, 'cause
I'm going to show
getting
you
your point.
why
We know
something.
that boat is there.
Okay, I'm going to show
It's
you.
not going down.
I'm going to show you why something happens that we observe in every single mirage. Okay, do you see where the blue water and the mirage meet?
Sure.
Okay, now let me go ahead and get this picture up so I can show you exactly what I'm trying to explain to you. Why
Okay.
it would only work.
Sorry, are you doing something or?
Yeah, I just put it on screen right now. Okay, so
Okay.
you see how the bend, the refraction bends light downward toward the cooler region? How it bends? It's not a straight line, it's a bend. Yeah?
Well, this isn't a superior mirage.
It's a mirage, and that's what I'm trying to explain.
No.
All mirages have a characteristic based on.
Why don't you pull up Why don't you pull up the same graphic with an inferior mirage?
Okay.
Because that's what we're looking at.
Where is it? So, which one do you want to go to? We'll go to mirages.
Anyone you want, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so here's one that explains how light's refracted. Here's one. All situations.
What shape is that road? What shape is that road
This one?
that those two cars are on?
It's a flat road.
Okay, so we know. So then we know, therefore, that mirages can happen on flat surface, right?
No, wait. First of all, this distance and the way that light bends and the size of the Earth and the light rays, all these things are taken into effect. Again, let me explain something. So, since this obviously is one you're willing to go to, do you understand that everything from the road to halfway up that truck is the mirage, correct? Right? Yep. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. See in the back, about halfway between them, that white area, right about where my cursor is where that mirage would, so to speak, start. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so the CL from there all the way up in front of the truck, and then it continues on, and then it starts going up. See that line? I'm not sure if you hear me.
I mean, I don't know what. Can you scroll up? Scroll up to the top of that document. There's a real picture of a flat road with an inferior mirage.
Oh, you're talking about this one.
Yeah, the real picture.
Okay.
Okay, so now we see on this road that's flat that you can see an inferior mirage.
How do you know that road's flat?
Because I can just look at it and see.
Oh, okay. Now, are you done, or that's it?
What's that?
Okay, I'm not really sure what you're trying to get at now. Okay, so what I'm trying to explain to you is that gap between the where the mirage is and your observation is actual.
Say that again.
Yeah, perfect. That's where I wanted to go. So that image right there, that boat, we've looked at this one before. Okay, that's a mirage that we're looking at, correct? Okay, it says a video of an example of a superior mirage may be accessed, and it tells you where to access. But that's a superior mirage, right?
Maybe.
Okay, well, it says it's a superior mirage. I'm pretty sure these guys
What does
are
it have to
lying.
do
But
with what
anyway,
we're looking
the
at?
point is that that boat seems pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
What does it have to do with the video of the boat that we're talking
it has
about?
everything to do with that. Hang on.
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's a completely different
does.
observation. It's a different effect. It's the same cause, like I said the other day, but it's a different effect.
So we see that picture, right? See the clear. You
Right.
can see the truck. You can clearly see that line. Road's clear. Perfect.
Yeah, the road's flat.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Here as well. Good. I mean, that's a good picture, right? Mirage. You can see the mirage in the road.
Yeah.
Same here. I mean, you can see the car, the bushes, the mirage on the road very clearly, right?
Right. What does this have to do with anything?
Your video, nothing like this. You keep showing me videos that you couldn't tell where anything is because it's out of focus.
Not at the beginning. It's not. No.
Yes, it is.
It's very clear.
Okay, so you just told me at the
beginning.
beginning it's not. Okay, I'll go back to the beginning.
No, I didn't.
You just said at the beginning it was. You literally just said that.
When
Chris.
you go back to when you go to the very, very start of the video, it's perfectly clear.
Okay, so remember you just said that. We're gonna go back to it now.
Sure.
You're telling me that's a clear video? That's the very beginning. That's 1 second in. You're telling me that's clear?
Yes, absolutely. Can you see the start of the mirror fold line? The inferior mirage versus the actual boat? Because I can see it really clearly, and there's an obvious delineation between the boat and the mirage. We know that the boat is there; it's on the water, and the mirage is below the boat.
So, Chris, what you're saying to me right now is your video is clear and the one on that boat on the right is not?
No, it is.
And you're saying yours is clear as well?
Yeah, they're both clear.
Is anybody else? Chris, are you serious?
Sean, you look. I've been in several hangouts with you, and I've listened on several. You have some sort of, and I don't understand it. Maybe because we went globe to flat to globe. You have some sort of inherent bias in your thinking and when you look at things. If you cannot look at that video on the left, starting from the beginning, and say, I see a clear boat on the top and a clear inferior mirage on the bottom, then you have an obvious bias.
I would bet you money, Chris, that I could have any other flat earther in here that knows me, and they would say 100% different to what you just said. Because I'm as non-biased as you're gonna get, buddy. And I'm gonna tell you right now.
But no, in this
you
situation,
saying,
you're not.
stop. You saying that your video that you have right there is clear is a blatant biased lie, because you can't say it's not clear. That is not a clear video, Chris. That's not clear at all.
Is it clear enough to see the difference between the real boat and the mirage?
I'll play it again. Please, seek and find. You're in the chat. Is that boat on the left clear enough to see shit?
Seek and find the baller.
No, he's not. He's a flat earther that I argue with every day.
Okay, because in one of his posts he says mirror images only happens on curves. So I don't know what he means by that.
Okay,
that's not right.
That doesn't change anything. There's nobody that's going to tell you that's focused or clear, Chris.
I didn't say focus. I didn't say focus. It's clear enough to tell the difference.
What is clear? What is clear to you?
It means that you can tell the difference between the actual boat and the mirage. That's all it means.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's not, because since the beginning when I started, before I addressed you being here, when I addressed,
so you're just scared
when I addressed when
this boat isn't going over
when
any curve.
I addressed
let's get
the
down
video,
to the real brass tacks.
Chris, when I addressed the video, I made it very clear before we started talking that I believed the curve to be around 110. The problem is that it was not a very clear and or focused video. Now, why would I make that observation if it's not true? I mean, I would look completely fucking crazy right now. I know there are people here. I'm telling you right now, that is not at all clear enough.
We know exactly what's happening in this observation.
Yeah, we know we are experiencing an inferior mirage. We know we're experiencing an inferior mirage on a lake when a boat's speeding away from us. We don't know where it is. We don't know the distance. The biggest issue is it's not in focus. It's not clear.
I asked the guy who took the video, and he said, let me read it to you. 1 second. He says, about 4 miles. So the boat's about 4 miles. We know that the building is farther than 4 miles. We can see that as this video is playing, the boat is just going off into a straight line. It's not going over any curve or hill or anything like that. The water line isn't changing. It's still the same level as it's been.
That's clear to you, Chris. Are you serious, man?
Well, now it's getting less and less clear because it's going further away, of course.
That's clear to you?
That's clear. Yes, that's very clear.
I think that you have a bias to this, Chris.
No, I have no bias.
Are you sure about that?
What's up, guys?
Seek and find.
Hello, everyone.
Seek and find. I'm so happy you guys are here. Please tell me. Before you do red, hang on. Seek and find. Are we looking at a clear image or a focus image?
First off, can I ask, do you got it like, are you got it enlarged right now or something?
Right now it's as large as I can get it.
Could you not enlarge it? Could you go back to like just a regular view of it?
Here, I'll post the video. You guys can check it out on your own screens.
I mean, to me, it looks rather pixelated, if you ask me.
That's not the question. The question is, can you tell the difference between the real boat above and the inferior mirage below?
I mean, I think you guys were hashing that out earlier where he was putting his pointer. It's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell.
It's not hard to tell.
It's indistinct.
It's clear. It's not indistinct.
That's quite indistinct. It's a blur. Sorry. A clear photograph is sharp and clear. The edges, etc., the specular highlights, etc. That's just out of focus and unclear. Here's the issue with taking pictures on the lowest point. You're at the thickest part of the atmosphere. You're always going to have problems like that. That's why trying to gauge the curve of the Earth from the ground is very problematic.
I mean, but we all know that's not curving, though, right? We all know that's not curving.
We can't tell anything because this is a crappy focus.
And no, we
don't know what that is.
Chris,
it could be
will you agree now that you are wrong and that my assessment is so biased? Because you have a flat earther on the panel that agrees that it's not a very good quality. Please find something better would be a better choice for asking questions.
What I won't agree with is that you can't tell the difference between the top part of the boat and the mirror fold line. That absolutely you can tell.
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I told you the second I went on here, or second I came on, I told you what I addressed it. And then when you came on and I addressed it to you again, I made it very clear. There were spots where I would assume that's where it was.
Yeah, like
I couldn't say clearly because I couldn't really tell. I mean, I made it very clear that I wasn't going to tell you exactly where stuff is because I didn't know.
If we all had to draw a line, what?
Yeah, if we all had to draw a line, I think we would all be pretty close to about the same area. You know what I'm saying?
Would we be exact? Fine. Will we actually
know?
I
mean, it might not be exact per se, but it would be close. It would be close.
Seek and find.
Very close.
Would you opt for a better video?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so how far is that boat away?
About 4 miles at its furthest.
Who took this footage? That's what I'm curious about.
The plain truth. He's a flat earther.
So you did not take. So, okay, so Chris. Okay, Chris, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're cutting out real bad.
Yeah, you're cutting out really bad, Chris. Or I'm sorry, Ray.
Okay, sorry. You didn't take this footage.
No.
Okay. But your site. So what is footage? I'm sorry. I'm not really following what the issue with the footage is.
Okay, so what he wanted me to do is he wanted me to address at what point in this video I would say that boat is starting to go over a curve. So I addressed him and told him, first of all, I couldn't because I don't know where it's at, I don't know the distance, and I can't tell because of the mirage. He's saying this is clear enough that we can tell and make this assessment. And I'm telling him there's absolutely no way we can make that assessment.
What would happen if it was going over a curve? Just answer me that.
Well, first of all,
go
ahead.
Okay. Sorry. The circumference of the Earth is 40,000 kilometers. If this boat is 5 or 6 or 7 kilometers away, that's not really.
Well. So are you saying? So isn't it as simple as the further it goes, the more around the supposed curve it's going to go, and it should drop in
it does
elevation
Exponentially, yes.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's
why isn't
observed
it doing
consistently.
that? Why isn't it doing that?
Well, for the main problem that you have is you didn't take the footage, so you have no way of knowing how far that boat is away. It's just a video.
Travis told me about 4 miles.
Okay, Travis said, but how do you know that what Travis said is correct?
I'm just trusting what he said.
Okay,
I got a problem. Hang on. Where was this taken at? Because I just Googled the Channel Islands, and you understand that between these two islands is that whole area we're looking at right now.
It was taken in Florida somewhere. I don't know where though.
Okay, well,
okay. Can I just make an observation then? So when we debate this, the common thing that the flat earthers say is, you haven't been into space, you didn't take these pictures, and so why are you showing pictures that you didn't take?
Because you're
trusting. Wait, excuse me. I'm sorry. Let me finish the sentence.
Well, okay. No.
So we're getting these pictures from NASA. We shouldn't trust them because we didn't take them. And then you show us video that you didn't take, but you're trusting that he's telling you the correct distance.
Okay. Do you want an answer?
Please.
What you're looking at right now is Channel Islands, California, or Florida. Where exactly is Channel Islands where you would have 3 to 4 miles to have that observation?
Okay, I'm going to answer this question. The difference is nobody can reproduce what NASA says that they're doing in space.
That has nothing to do with this. Come on. I want to stick to this.
No. Okay, I understand that. Chris, that's a good answer. Okay, I get that
thank
answer.
You.
No, that's a good answer. Yeah, I can't reproduce what NASA produces in space. Okay, actually, yes, they can. Elon Musk can. Okay, and the other people that can. Anyone that's got enough.
People who work with NASA can. Okay, fine.
Right. So here's the thing: your automatic distrust of NASA is because
it's not automatic. But go ahead.
Okay. So why? Let me ask you this then. I mean, I know we're covering stuff we probably already talked about before, and I apologize, but you distrust NASA's footage. Okay. Yes. Is that correct? Okay. Correct. Why?
Because I've seen other footage that they produce of where they're supposed to be on the ISS, but they're floating in space, but they're clearly on wire harnesses.
Okay.
So I don't believe they're lying.
Okay, I've seen the alleged wire harness footage. So basically, you watch them YouTube. So here's how your research goes. And I don't want to be disparaging, but this is basically how I'm seeing this going. You are watching videos on YouTube. The videos on YouTube claim there are wire harnesses being used on the International Space Station. When I watch those videos, I see no wire harnesses. I see video glitches and I see all sorts of different things, but I never at any point have seen wires. No, nowhere ever. I've never.
You're not going to see the wires. You're not going to see the wires. You see wires in movies when people jump 40 feet in the air, like doing a kung fu move. I mean,
exactly.
Come on, man.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so how do you know there are wires?
Because the stuff that they're doing, like you can see.
What do you mean the stuff that they're doing is consistent with them being in microgravity?
No, you can see people pulling on their wires.
You watch videos, dude. Okay, here's the issue: you're watching videos and you're saying this is the sum of my research. This is why I don't believe what NASA is saying. This involves no science whatsoever. You've just watched some videos. The videos purport to show harnesses, and you've believed them. That's not evidence.
Yeah, and another problem is the wire harnesses in movies. Most of those are edited out.
Yeah, of course they are. But you've got all the footage, hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage on the International Space Station. You've got some of the sequences that they show are impossible with current special effects, let alone special effects in the past. The sequences you show, you can see, for example, the movie Gravity. Okay, Sandra Bullock floating. Okay, if you watch the cuts, it cuts from one thing to another as they use different methods of giving the appearance of microgravity. The footage on the International Space Station, there are 365 degree rotations, footage for 3-4 minutes with no cuts. Okay, and none of that is explained.
So you buy all the NASA stuff?
None of it is explained why that would be fake.
I mean, I don't. Okay,
you're saying it's fake, but you don't have anything to go on to really say it's fake.
NASA, when I'm trying to ask people watching a boat go out into the sea or the water, where it's going over the curve and nobody.
Chris, here's the root of the issue. The sum of the reason that you don't trust NASA is because you've watched YouTube videos.
This has nothing
not because you've done research. Okay, the YouTube. Okay, so NASA shows footage of Earth and it is a planet.
About NASA?
I'll tell you why. Because NASA's showing footage of the planet.
You did kind of just bring up NASA out of nowhere.
Yes, I am bringing up NASA, and here's why. NASA's showing video footage of the planet. Okay. And you are saying you can't trust that because you can't reproduce it, etc., etc. But you're showing video that you haven't reproduced and you didn't take yourself. Maybe you could reproduce it, but you're looking. First of all, you're looking at the worst possible scenario, which is getting to the thickest part of the atmosphere.
That's when you're and then mirage.
Right, but it's not really good evidence. No, here's the second problem. Here's the second problem.
It should still be going over a curve, and it's not.
But Chris, here's the second problem. This is 3 years, and we're still at this point where you're pointing to somebody else's footage of a boat, and with indistinct, it's just, is this, I mean, really, is this it? Can you imagine, I mean, what are you going to do in another 10 years?
Well, we're
showing people footage of boats still?
We're explaining what's happening, why, and the cause, and that it's not going over a curve, so it's pretty darn good evidence, if you ask me.
It's not good evidence at all. That's absolute rubbish evidence. I'm sorry. You didn't even take the footage yourself. You just say, "Oh, look, this indistinct, shady, blurry footage is allegedly proof that things aren't going over the curve."
That's always the excuse. You can tell the difference between the top portion of the boat, the real boat, and the bottom FEer mirage. You can see the boat go off in the distance. It's on top of a layer of water that you can't see for some weird refractive reason.
Okay.
The boat doesn't go over a curve.
How do we know that footage is not CGI?
Okay.
Because you can reproduce it. Many people have reproduced it. That's why.
Okay. So people have produced footage from space too.
So do you agree that boats going over the curve? That's evidence for a sphere?
It's evidence for a sphere, coupled with
that's the claim. That's the claim that boats going over the curve. That's evidence.
Yes, but here's the thing: it isn't the only evidence. It's part of the evidence. It's part of the massive evidence for the sphere.
From our perspective, aren't we always on top of the ball?
From our perspective,
yeah.
Down is down, and in Australia,
no, my question is
upside down. They're down is down.
About to draw a ball like on your screen right now.
Right.
And we're talking about our perspective. Where's that perspective at from the top of the ball, right?
Okay, yeah. And people from Australia call themselves down.
The claim is that boats are going over this curve because of the horizon. As soon as you rise in elevation, my question would be, why is the horizon rise at all? Like that, the horizon should always be like doing this exponential like drop. And that's
it does as you go. It does as you go higher.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, you can say no, it doesn't. That's fine. Cool. No, it doesn't. Have you been?
I mean,
How high has any flat earther been to prove
the
that it
curve is
doesn't?
that pronounced to hide a boat, over a few miles.
Dude, here's the question for you.
As
We're
soon as
3
you rise
years
in
into this, dude. Okay, listen, we're 3 years into this, right? We're 3 years into this. Has any flat earther been higher than an airliner and has gone up there with a camera that they could certify to be level and show the horizon doesn't
Okay,
rise?
so pretty much
That's
you're
not
on
even the
auto
best
deny
way.
right now. You're
That's
on
not
auto.
even the best way. The best way is to measure the distance from point A to point B on the surface of the Earth and determine if it's flat or not. That's the best way, and we've done that.
Okay, well, no, actually, the best way is to go up high enough to be able to see the whole planet, or every area
No, that's
that
not
you can
the best
see on
way, 'cause
Earth
you have to deal with refraction and light issues and
from space.
atmosphere. Oh God, but we can't do that. So why do you keep saying
What do you mean?
that?
Oh God, you can't do that. What do you mean you can't do
No,
that?
none of us on this call or anyone is ever going to go to space. Okay.
Okay, but people have, so we don't doubt those people's word. Why?
No,
Because you've got to
doubt
keep your flat
people's
Earth belief.
We
That's
doubt
why.
people's words. No, because they're liars.
How do you know they're liars?
Because people lie, and they're lying in those videos.
You're lying.
What am I lying about?
I don't care. You're just a liar. I could just kind of claim anyone's a liar. I mean, that's easy.
No, I'm claiming those people's no.
I mean, really, I'm not really calling him a liar, Sean. Okay.
And again, I'm going to say the same damn thing I've been saying to Chris about it. If you're going to show an image, you don't think that image should be usable? Because he's filming, he's zooming in, and I'm seeing a clear image. This image is something I could use.
How is that any more clear than the one I'm showing?
You said that because I can show you how much clearer it is.
Like, what are we looking at here? It's just a blob. It's a big blob of nothing.
Okay, Chris. I'll show you in a sec. I'll show you right now.
Pictures from ground level are terrible evidence.
You can see it right there, Chris. You see that, right? You can see the difference in those two films. You're telling me you can't tell the difference, which is clear and which is not? Is that what you're saying, Chris?
No, not really.
You can't tell.
In the marketplace of ideas, okay, you have to come up with your best evidence, okay, and you see which one wins, right? So the shape of the Earth, okay, can be debated, all right, and we can say, well, here's our evidence. The problem with this conversation is when we show our evidence, you say, no, that's fake.
I haven't
But you
said
expect us to accept all. You say everything NASA produces is fake, and you just say that?
Oh, well, the NASA produces.
You have
when
to.
You show our evidence. What evidence have you shown? What evidence have you done? What experiments and tests have you done?
To discount what NASA's evidence unless you can prove that what they're showing is fake. It's circular reasoning. It's circular reasoning because you watch the video and it apparently shows harnesses which you can't prove.
So you've never seen nothing questionable coming out of NASA's camp? You've never seen nothing questionable at all?
I've watched all of the Flat Earthers videos. You realize how much research I've done into this?
Yeah, I just want to know where your kind of perception lies.
Hey, Chris,
you've never seen nothing questionable from
I'm analyzing the evidence.
Seek and find. Can you do me a favor and explain this video that we're watching right now? What is the reason what we observe is happening?
Okay. What are you seeing?
Who's got to put it at?
What you're seeing, Seek, is a boat in the foreground, and in the background, a boat that is hidden by the curve. Now, or unless you're saying that we can zoom into that boat in the background, and we'll see the whole thing again.
Okay, Sean, so what are you saying? There's that thing on the left, I guess, is a boat?
Absolutely, it's a boat. Matter of fact, it's not only a boat, it is a mirror image of the boat that it is right there. Those two boats are the exact same boats. So why is the boat in the back on the left so low, if not curve?
Looks like it's further away.
Okay, so and I asked you that. So does that mean that we'd be able to bring that boat back into view?
If you zoom in on it, you're going to be able to see more of it.
Okay, perfect.
Or
How do you
the
said
same
that?
amount of it. The same amount of it zoomed in. I
Look,
guess.
right there. You can see the boat. See how much is showing in the background on the left?
There's another one on the right as well.
Yeah, but that's where the camera's going to go. The one on the left. See it?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. How come when it's zooming in right now, more of it isn't showing?
Looks like it's out of the view of the camera.
Again, see how much is showing?
It's out of the view of the camera.
No, it's not. Look, it's in the view. That's how I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you. See it?
Why is the top in view but the bottom is not in view?
Why did the one on the left not become bigger? Why do we not see more of it right now?
It's not in the view.
The camera. It is. It's in the view because
What's
it's showing it right
it?
now.
I can't accept it.
It's in the view because it's showing it right now. What do you mean not in the view?
You're
That is
talking
in the view
about
of
the boat
camera.
on the left, correct? You're talking about the boat on the left.
Yep.
Right now, that boat.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't see it anymore once you zoom in.
Okay, well watch. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Look, still see it. Why don't we see more of it as he zoomed in?
It's not even in focus. What are you talking about?
That's focus. That's a whole
It's
lot better
focused
focus
on
than
this
Chris's.
boat
That's
that's in the,
look,
that's in the middle of the picture, though, Sean.
Again,
That is interesting.
the object is there. Focus
This
does
is-
not
this
take
is nothing.
all
I don't
that
even
boat
know,
away.
like, this is a
Focus
bad
does not
point.
take
Why-
all that boat away.
Why is the mass?
See?
No, it's a very good point.
So please explain to
It's
me
very good.
when it gets zoomed in, why don't we see more? Why don't we see more? It's in the view because we see it. It's in the camera's focal view because we see it. Again, why don't we see more? I just showed you zooming in, and the boat
This
did
isn't
not show
even a
you more.
debate, man. You guys are like...
It is. It's a so be
Okay, so...
just as visible as the boat on the right.
Just
Hang on,
It would just
hang on,
be
Red. Hang on,
smaller.
Red. Hang on,
to
Red.
get this clear, you're talking about the boat on the left that I could just see like
Yep.
a little smidget of.
Yep,
I
there's
can't even
only-
really see it,
only
just a
the
little
little two-
smidget because
Yep.
he zoomed in.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Okay, how much do you see right now? You see the boat now?
Okay.
You see those little the two little things on the front that you were
This is
talking
funny,
about a second
man.
ago? You see that? Look where my
Okay,
cursor
so
is.
again,
You see this
the
right here?
claim is that.
Look, you
the
see this
claim
right
is
here?
that.
Right where my cursor is. You see that?
The observation matches the claim.
Yes. Do you see that, Seek? That right where my cursor is.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Why didn't that get bigger? Why didn't we see more of it? With your
More
claim
what?
that zooming in,
It's out
you
of
know,
the frame.
wait.
of the camera.
With
You
the
talking about the boat?
with the flat Earth
That
claim,
makes no sense.
the claim you just made is that if you zoom in, you would
Oh
bring
my
it
gosh,
back.
you
You
guys
bring the whole
serious
boat
right
in.
now.
Yeah.
Now that
this
means
is
even with a little zoom, as you zoom
You
from
can't
zero
see that
zoom,
there's these four posts right here, right? There's 1, 2,
What?
3 in this frame right now.
Yep.
Right?
what is obscuring.
Okay, when you zoom back out, there's 4 posts, and the boat is on the left side of the
again,
other.
okay,
boat.
let me ask this again.
So
Then
it's
why
not
don't
even
the
in
two?
the
Then
frame
why
right now.
don't the two?
So what are you talking
Why
about?
don't the two poles you see? Why don't you see
No,
more
no,
of
no,
them?
no.
Because
Sean,
they're
you
in
were
the
talking
view the
about
whole
the boat.
time.
Dude, you were
Oh,
talking about the
gosh.
boat.
This is impossible. Okay,
You
here's
were
the
asking me about the boat.
Seek, here's the deal. I'm a photographer. This is consistent with what you would see on any planet over long distance. Entirely consistent. And there's no mirages going on there because you can see that boat totally clearly. Obscuring the boat on the left, except curve, which you
Guys, are you, okay,
say doesn't
stop,
exist.
stop.
There's no explanation other than you have to say something about its and make up something because you're committed no matter what to the flat earth idea. And no matter what you're shown,
Are you
you
gonna
will
listen?
remain committed to the flat earth, regardless of any of the evidence.
No, not gonna listen.
Yeah, you're not
Okay.
absolutely not going to listen.
Okay, well,
Obviously,
if
we're
that's the case,
triggered
see,
over there.
fine. If that's
No,
the
no,
case,
no. This is what I do for a living.
Hang on, Red. Because this is
So-
this is as simple as it gets.
It
Seek and
is. It
find.
really is.
I am making the claim that boat on the left, the
You let
one
me
in
know
the
when you're
back,
ready for me to talk. If you play this shit back when you're ready for me to talk.
Seek and find. I am making the claim that the boat on the left, the one in the background, is hidden due to obstruction of the curve. You
Point to it. Point to it. Point to it right now.
my cursor is on it.
Okay, to the right of that boat, there are 4 posts next to it, right?
Right there.
There are 4 posts next to it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Yep.
When you zoom in all the way on the boat, when you were asking me where's the boat at,
Yep.
you only see 3 posts.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Boats have the shot to the
perfect.
left.
Okay. Now with that,
To the left,
stop.
dude.
Hang on, Red. Now with that, in right here, I'll even fast forward to it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing that you
Okay.
guys think boats go over a
So you
curve.
can
That
find
is amazing.
right here. Do you
Stop.
see where
Go
my cursor?
back out a bit more.
Stop.
Go back.
So you can
Go back
find.
out a little bit more.
Do you see where my cursor is now?
Because there are only 3,
Yeah,
you're
sure.
saying there's
Okay.
something wrong?
Now, does that mean that
Where's the boat? Where do you think you would see the boat?
The
Why would you think you would see the boat
seek and
inside a
find,
frame?
stop. The 3 poles that we're looking at right now, are they part of the boat that we are discussing?
I didn't think that they were part of. Are they part of the boat? Is that what you're
Are
saying?
you watching this video?
Okay, zoom back up.
Just zoom out just about 1-2 seconds, and you can see the rest of the boat right in. You just don't see. There you go, right there. That's the whole boat.
See,
There you are.
here's the thing.
Okay.
Look, you can go back, and you can I can
And the
still
back
see
of the
it.
boat.
You can see it here. But look, as much as showing in this image is the same amount showing in this image. No matter where we go, it is the boat we've been discussing the whole time. Why is that all that boat hidden, even when we zoom in? Boat's still there. I see the boat. I see the boat. I still see nothing more is showing, but all that we see is what's able to be seen because of curve. Not
It's
zooming
further
in.
away.
Zooming
It's further
in,
away. It's going to
zooming
give you
in
a
does
limited
not-
angle.
So guess
It's
what?
gonna be
further
small.
away.
This video proves. This
It's just
video
gonna be smaller.
proves that zooming into an object that appears behind the curve
Limited
will
angle.
not bring that object back into focus. Do you understand? And
You're not
Yeah.
zooming in on that object, though. You're zooming in
same
on
Are
that.
you,
limited angle.
wait. So
In-
let me get this straight. So
in
you can find. Hang
photographic
on, Red.
terms,
Hang on,
nothing.
Red. Stop. So let me get this straight so you can find. You're telling me that this camera is zooming in on the boat that we can see, the full part of that boat, the one with the black hole. You're saying the camera is zooming into that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're telling me is because the camera is zooming in on that boat with the black hole in the middle of that screen right now, that the boat behind it won't be zooming in as well as long as it's in the image finder of the camera. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, zoom back all the way out.
Stop. Hang on. Are you telling me that those 2 objects do not zoom in together when aiming at one object? So
Yeah, I mean, you're asking a loaded question here. It's
no,
like,
I am not.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are because.
Oh my!
Okay, go
So you
ahead.
can find you're being so like right this. Okay, I'm gonna let
okay.
you understand where I'm at right now. I'm at the spot where I'm looking at an image that has to be answered. I am talking to someone that I honestly believe either does not understand it or is purposely doing it. I'm trying to figure that out. Let's keep it to that real. Okay? So when you look at this image and you're telling me that when I zoom into that boat with the black hole, the boat behind it, the one I'm saying is behind a curve, does not zoom in either? It doesn't zoom in, you're saying?
Sure, Sean, it zooms in too. They're not from this angle right here, from where you're at right now. When you zoomed in and had it earlier, it doesn't look like they change much in size. So I don't know how much the zoom is.
Guess
How
what?
much zoom it all the way out so I can see it again. That's all I was asking.
No, he's not zooming in and out. He's
Yeah, I'm just looping it over and over and over again. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's kind of choppy. So just let me see it again. It's like very choppy when it zooms in.
Sean, when I see this, no reason. If the Earth was flat, okay, first of all, you wouldn't see the horizon there. There'd be no reason that. Okay, and the boat behind it will be just at the same level as the boat in front of it.
Okay.
It wouldn't be lower,
Dre, hang on,
as we can
hang
see
on.
it.
Dre Midas, in the chat. The video we're watching right now, I'm looping. I'm gonna loop exactly
He's not
what we're trying
zooming
to
in.
show him. The boat in the foreground with the black hole, and then right to the left of it is the boat that I'm saying is over the curve. Is there a reason when the camera zooms in? Now, I'm not even asking you about the curve. I want you to. I need to ask you. I want you to answer this for seek and find. Do both boats that are in the viewfinder do they both zoom in when the camera zooms in? If they're in the viewfinder, they both are, right? Not just one
but you can
image.
see from right here, you can see all three of them. They're not quote unquote over anything right now. You can see all three of them.
Okay, wait. First of all, you can watch all three all you like, but I want you to watch the one in the back and then the one in the front of it. Because when that camera zooms in, because the camera still sees those, you do understand that means they're zooming in on both.
Okay,
Sean, right?
That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Then explain to me why, when this camera is zooming in, as it zooms in, we do not see more and more of the boat on the left. Unless you don't, unless you want to say how much more do you see?
When you started out back, I only saw a little dot of it. Now I can see,
okay,
more
how
detail.
much more?
Yeah, you can see more of it.
Again, how much more of the boat do you see? Not how big does that one spot you see right there?
You're telling me you don't see more of it from started back at the beginning?
No. You see
started back at the beginning, and you tell me you don't see more of the boat.
See compared to what you see when the zooming happens is all that's able to be observed from that boat, because that's above the curve. Now, when you zoom in, it will bring you closer, and it will make that object you see bigger, but it does not bring the boat, the stuff that is hidden behind something that flat earthers, you have already stated, brings the whole boat back into view. This
if you had a powerful enough zoom, it would.
It's a P1000. What are you talking about?
So, started back at the beginning, Sean.
No, not again.
Because right now I see three parts of that boat. You saw like the hull or whatever, and then you saw like four.
There are three boats.
But we're talking about the boat on the left. Just
right.
merely that one. So from right here, you can see it.
Right there, I start seeing it. And you see that little dot? That's the same stack. But the thing is that if we looked really close, you know what we'd seek and find? We would see exactly the amount of that object showing throughout the whole thing. I'll show you. I can even prove it to you. Ready? Okay. You see that stack, and then you see the white part right in front of it, in the very back of that boat? On the left?
Point to what you're talking about.
You see where I'm pointing? That the amount of that we will see does not change. What we are viewing, or what we are observing right now, will get larger because we are zooming it into the frame, but more of the boat is not appearing as it zooms in. Same amount shows the whole time, and we only zoom into it and it becomes bigger, not more.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If that boat is over the curve, right, from this position that whoever's taking this image from,
yep.
If they start to rise from this position,
they would see more and more of that boat.
Okay, what about the curve? What about the curve? The curve is going to exponentially keep dropping, right?
But the higher you go, the more you'll be able to see.
Yeah, it's going to be gradual. It's going to be gradual. But this is what people have seen for, as long as they've had telescopes.
I mean, how gradual are we talking? If that's pronounced enough to hide
very gradual
boat right there. If the curve is that pronounced to hide that boat from me, he's not even that far away.
No, you don't know. You don't know the distance, so you can't say that. But
you can't say
the one thing you can say is that there is no explanation for why we see only that much of the boat after we watched it zoomed in and more of it didn't appear, because your whole argument of why that boat's obstructed is being able to zoom in and bring it back in.
As you move stuff farther away from you, the angle becomes more limited and more limited. But anyway,
that's not true. That's not true.
That's a clear,
wait a second. Wait a second. Please don't use meaningless terms. That's what you just said is completely. That doesn't make any sense. Limited angle.
Yeah, when you're talking about yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not just make up a term, limited angle?
Is limited a word, and then is angle a word? I'm not
Yes.
making up anything. What are you talking about?
Okay, but the two words together don't mean anything in photographic terms. in
Limited
photography
angle
terms.
doesn't mean anything to you.
No, limited angle does not mean anything. It's not a term.
All right. Like I said,
Limited
this
angle.
is not a debate. There is no debate. The debate's
Yeah,
pretty
there
much-
isn't a debate. You're talking to
You know
someone
what
who
I'm
knows
saying?
about photography.
We
and
can
you're
have
using terms you have no idea what
discussions.
they
We
mean.
can have discussions, but the debate is over, man.
No, the debate. We've never had a debate. I've never yet had a debate with a pastor.
Y'all want to keep debating. The debate is over.
Correct. The Earth isn't flat.
Wait, okay. So here's
There's evidence right there.
Hang on, Red. Hang on, Red. So you're saying
Sorry.
the debate is over.
Okay, man.
Seek and
Like I
find.
said, when you rise from that
Stop.
position,
Hang on. Stop. Seek and find.
Wait, look
You're
at the
telling
footage
me,
now.
say
Seek
this
and
guy.
find. You're saying the debate is over. You still have not given me a reason for why that boat has obstruction.
I did. You didn't accept it, so.
No. Wait. Go ahead and say it again because there was nothing for me to
So
not
you're
accept.
talking about
There was nothing for me
perspective,
to
right?
accept
The
or
whole
not to
reason-
accept.
The whole reason that water that's really below your feet seems to ramp up and come to eye level is because of perspective. That's the only reason that phenomenon happens. It's because of the way your eye works.
That's
So
not,
are you
that's,
telling
that's
me
a
the
complete
boat?
rubbish,
Stop, Red.
man.
Stop.
Okay, whatever.
Stop.
Red.
Seek
Come
and find.
on.
Are you telling me right now that the reason for the boat in the background, the reason all that is obstructed is
on.
perspective?
The water, right, is below this guy's feet, right? But it appears to rise up. What is the reason
That
for
has
that?
nothing to do with what we're
Well,
asking
no,
you.
I'm just
Why
asking, what's
does
the
the
reason-
boat
what do you
have
think the reason
obstruction?
for that
Why
is?
does the boat have obstruction?
I want to know
Why
why
does
you
the boat
think
have
that happened.
obstruction? What is obstructing the view of that boat?
Do you even know? I don't think you understand what perspective actually is.
No,
Well, would you like
no idea.
No.
I mean, I'm waiting for
Stop,
somebody to
everybody,
answer.
stop. Because I'll end this whole
Perspective.
thing right the fuck now until this question is answered. Seek and find. What is
Hey, look,
obstructing
calm
the
down,
rest
bro.
of that boat?
Calm down.
Okay, then please answer the question.
I'm waiting on you to answer mine, man.
No.
You asked me a question.
Because when
Don't
I
answer
started
questions
this,
with questions.
I asked you from the very beginning, what is the reason the view of this boat is obstructed? And you have not answered that. You started
far
off
away.
with the
You have a limited
water's under the
angle to
guy's
it
feet,
because
and the
of
water
perspective.
seems to rise. And all I want to know
Garbage.
is why the
Yeah, I know
boat is
you're not
obstructed.
accepted. That's the reason. You guys
That's
just
garbage.
That's wrong.
the answer, but that's
That's
the
so
because your answers are
fundamentally wrong
garbage.
that it's ridiculous. That's why I'm saying, do you want to do over? Would you rather say seek and find? You know what? I saw that boat. I saw the camera zooming in, and we did not see more of that boat appear than we've already seen. It only the view got larger, but more of it did not appear in the view. So everything you've known about how a boat can be brought back in by only zooming in is wrong. Am I correct in my statement, seek and find?
No, you're not.
Okay, where did I go wrong in that statement? And before you just say this because, I want you to explain it, because otherwise you are purposely diverting from answering correctly.
Okay, perspective, right? The water really is below this guy's feet. It appears to ramp up, right?
Why?
And come to because of the way your eye works, man. It's not because of the curve. of
That's
the earth.
not an
Because,
answer.
like I asked you earlier, your perspective is always from the top of the ball. So the horizon should never be ramping up at all, man. Especially when you rise in elevation. Yes. You're on a ball that curves 360 degrees all the way around it. If you stand on top of a ball, you're telling me the horizon should rise if you rise in elevation?
Hey, does it
No.
rise? Does it rise?
Okay.
Up?
That's
seek
Eric
and find.
Dubay.
Seek and find.
You got
Does
that from
it-
Eric
seek and
Dubay.
find. Does it rise
That's not
above your
because
eye
of
level?
curvature. You
Does
guys
it
just
rise
don't get it.
above your eye level?
Sean,
Does it rise above your eye level? Seek and find. Does it?
Sean,
Does it
it
rise?
shouldn't rise at all.
Does it
it's
rise
point
above
that
your
I
eye
made.
level?
I didn't say it
No,
has
it
to rise to your
doesn't.
eye. I said it appears to rise
Okay.
up to your eye.
appears
It's
and
not coming straight to
appears
your eye level.
and does.
That entire
is two different
terminology,
things. Seek and find.
Sean,
Perspective does not explain
he's
why
no-
that boat
he's got
is
no
doing
idea.
what it's doing. So please answer the question. And if you don't know, say I don't know,
I just told you why. You just don't accept my answer, man.
because your answer is wrong.
You don't accept
okay,
it.
let's put it
The
this
answer
way.
is meaningless.
I've
Okay,
given you
okay.
an example.
According to you guys, that's because of curvature, but, you know.
have given
Yes.
you an explanation
Sure.
for
But
why
if you
that
rise
is
from that
happening. Seek
elevation,
and
what
find.
happens there?
I have given you an explanation for why this is happening. I have proven to you why it is not what was you have been told, and then repeating here.
Sean,
So then what I have
Sean.
done is I've looped this video over and over and over again. You said that, yes, when we zoom in, it does show more. No, it doesn't. It only shows what we see to be larger, not more of. So everything that you have said is the reason for this is wrong. And it's not just wrong because we just say so. It's wrong because,
so can I ask
it's
a
because
question,
every
though?
observation ever known about optics says you're
Can I ask a
wrong.
question? Can I ask a question? Or you guys scared of me asking a question?
Don't start with that. See, I'm serious
Please.
right now, man. Because right now, I've given
Seems
you
like
such an
y'all don't want me
obvious
to ask no
observation
questions.
for you to answer
Dude,
either I don't
you're a
know or
child.
truthfully, and you've decided to go along this route. So now I'm irritated.
Petulant.
So you can find, I'd like to know what your question is.
I'd like to hit my head on the brick wall.
Why does the horizon seem to rise? If not, forget that I'm going to say eye level. It seems to rise up and ramp up. Why is that reason?
I can tell you why. Because it doesn't. Because in order for it to drop, you'd have to be... Yes, it doesn't. In order for it to drop perceptibly, in order for the horizon to drop, you have to go up a significant altitude. Okay? The idea that the entire horizon rises to eye level idea you got from Eric Dubay, and every flat earther parroted Eric Dubay's video 200 proofs, and Eric Dubay has never been higher than an airliner. Eric Dubay has never taken a camera above the altitude of an airliner and set the camera on a gimbal that is provably level and shown that the horizon rises to eye level. Eric Dubay is full of it. But what you've done is you watched Eric Dubay videos, and other people have parroted Eric Dubay videos, and you have this idea that the horizon rises to eye level, and it doesn't. If you go up about 20 kilometers, the dip is almost still imperceptible, it's like 1 or 2 degrees. You go up 100 kilometers, it's still only about 3 degrees. You barely have to look down even slightly at 100 kilometers up. But you go 1,000 kilometers up, you have to look right down. Okay? And when you look out of, i.e., the cupola of the International Space Station or one of the other windows, one of the side windows of the cupola, it has 7, you will see the curve of the Earth, and you have to look down to look at the planet below. But you have to be up, that's 400 kilometers up. That's a significant distance. Okay? So that is basically it. So going to the beach, that's why I said to Chris, going to the beach with a P900 or a P1000, and just looking at mirages and things isn't a really good way of seeing. You have to look really, really far, like this video shows. And to get a better view, you have to go up really, really high. The problem is, flat earthers in 3 years never once have even suggested the idea of going up that high. There's a reason for that. If they go up that high, they'll see that the horizon does drop, and the planet is not flat, and they can't have that. So they won't go up that high ever. I can guarantee it. I'm done.
There are videos, and I can point you to a channel that has them, that shows the horizon not rising level using a drone. And also you can get an app on your phone that shows that too. You're saying that it's disappearing because of perspective. You don't understand what perspective actually is.
Just spat out words. Perspective. What is it? What was the other one he said? Angle of view or something? I don't know what it was.
Well, and if I'm wrong about that, so you can let me know. Do you know what perspective it is? And if you do, tell me what it is. Did we lose him?
Probably. No, it's a dead argument. I mean, we've been at this 3 years now. I'm getting, I'm starting to get sort of not worried that they don't have a good answer, but frustrated that they're not gaining any sophistication. Chris comes along, blurry footage that he got from somebody else saying that or maybe miles away. Oh, look, doesn't this show that? Doesn't this show this? 3 years. I mean, at what point are they going to get better arguments? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, it's
So I
frustrating.
guess he can find you're scared to answer the question, or what's going on?
Yeah, you're scared. That's bizarre.
Whose footage is this? By the way, or not? But who took the footage?
Let me see. I don't know actually. Did you do? Yeah, that's the other thing. The chat is interesting. Yeah, just to speak to the chat a second here. No flat earther has ever taken a camera on a plane or anywhere else where the camera was demonstrably flat and not flat, but the camera was demonstrably level. That's the issue. They've not once done that or even suggested to do that. They put them up on balloons and they're waving around all over the place, but they've never once shown a camera that is provably level and proved that the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. So that one point on Eric Dubay's video that flat earthers use again and again and again and have used for 4 or 5, 6 years is completely debunked until we can get proof to otherwise. And I don't have any confidence that's going to ever happen for the aforementioned reasons. They can't do that. If they go up that high, they'll see that they're wrong. If they go to Antarctica, they'll see that there's the 24-hour sun is impossible flat Earth. They won't do it. That's how I know that flat Earth is a hoax.
I don't put it this way. Of all this time I've been here, I'm gonna tell you right now, this video I'm playing, I've seen it too, but I didn't notice it. This is as clear as curvature proof as it gets. It is also proof that zooming in does not bring the boat back into view.
Nope.
Period.
You see the same. It just gets bigger. It just gets bigger in the frame. You don't see anything more of it. You know those cross beams?
All the same.
You got the
That's
four,
all you see,
right.
but smaller. That has nothing.
Yeah,
that
you can
is not
zoom
bringing
right
it
in.
back. This is as clear as it gets.
Yep.
And I honestly saw, when I saw this, and Seek and Find, I asked you that question, I honestly went, ha, there's no way in hell he's going to lie and bullshit the answer to this one. And that's what you did, man. That pisses me off. While all the talking was going on, I went over to the Discord and I challenged, and I'll tell you right now, everybody, I'll give you $100 right now if you can explain this, what we're seeing, to not be curvature and be right. You can explain anything. That don't give you shit. I want it to be correct. I want to know why that boat is obstructed. I want to know why, when that camera zooms in, we don't start seeing more of the boat being brought into view, like everyone says. And if anyone wants to say, well, I don't think, every flat earther, I'm going to say that right now, every single, I'm not being a stereotypical person, every flat earther says that boat, when you zoom in, should come back into view. The whole boat, and it doesn't. Any flat earther, $100 right now. Come on.
Yes, they have trouble about you're wrong. There's tens of thousands of photographs of the Earth from ISS that you have yet to disprove. I've never seen one flat Earth that disproved one photograph that NASA has produced. Not even.
Hey, sorry, I had a phone call. My family just walked in the door, so I gotta go. But thanks for having me, Sean.
Yeah, thanks for the chat.
I know we always, get into it. Your boats are going over the curve, guys. Y'all need to stop it.
Hey, spread the word. I'm offering $100 for any flat earther that will solve this observation we're making right now correctly. Okay?
Whose observation is this? I'll check it out and look at it more in depth.
I put it in the chat. I'll do it again. It's Dazza the cameraman. DAZZA, the cameraman. I'll put it in the chat again.
All right, I'll check it out. Thanks for having me, Sean.
Yep.
Take care.
I mean, seriously, like,
I don't do drugs, but I feel like I should start.
Like, again, and I'm as honest as I can be about this. This is probably the best observation I've ever seen that proves two things: curvature, in that zoom will not bring a boat back into view like every, and I'm not being stereotypical because every flat earther says that will happen. Why? Because if they don't say that will happen, then the only answer that is obvious is curvature.
Of course it is. I mean, look at the footage. What is obscuring it? There's nothing obscure. What is obscuring it is waves. There aren't any waves. So the waves are
And
a
anybody
meter.
who says perspective in the chat, anybody, remember this, perspective, right? What
Yeah,
you are
that's what we
viewing
got.
is your perspective of that boat being obstructed by curvature. If you were to gain your elevation, your perspective then would probably see more of that boat the higher you go, because then you would be able to see more of what's over right on where that boat is. You understand that? So anytime you say perspective, you are not giving an answer. You are only giving what you're seeing. You're saying, I see.
Yep.
That's it. That's what perspective means. I see.
Exactly. And then what the other point I just made before, just to reiterate, I'm sorry to do that, but what I'm finding is that flat earthers are very, very good at avoiding anything that can disprove the flat earth conspiracy idea. So flat earthers are not looking for evidence of the conspiracy in the 16th century. They're not looking at the moon distance or sun distance. They're not going to Antarctica to disprove the 24-hour sun. They're not going to the North Pole and then traveling south to prove the angles that you can see the North Star at. They're not doing any of those things. That tells me that one of two things: either they just can't be bothered, or that they are afraid to, because they know that if they do that, it'll disprove their flat Earth conspiracy idea. That tells me. I mean, we'll be, like I said, 3 years into this, and I'm seeing a pattern. I went to Bob Nodell's. I went to Globebusters, and I asked Bob Nodell why he doesn't point a radio telescope, because he said he's a ham radio operator, and I asked him why he didn't. Well, I said, why don't here's an idea: go get a radio telescope and point it at the moon, and bounce the radio waves off the moon, and you can gauge its distance because radio waves travel at light speed. Okay. His response: he called me a clown and blocked me. Interesting, right?
And I made this pretty clear before. I'm in a spot in my life where I'm trying to wage whether or not the people I know that are flat earthers with a misunderstanding, flat earther with a complete discare for truth, or what. That's what I'm looking for. So, I mean, right now, to be completely honest, people I know that think it's flat are slowly but surely starting to give me answers that are really not making me happy with the answers I think they were going to be. And that's being as honest as I can be with it.
So there's some people in the chat that are talking a lot of smack. Come on the panel and defend it.
Trouble about? You want to talk to me directly instead of call me a liar?
Well,
Come on the chat and call me a liar.
You can get personal, back and forth, blah, 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 but the proof is in the pudding.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Obstructed? Where is the rest of the boat that we can't see? Right? Then the next question is why, when the camera starts to zoom in, does the boat in the foreground, why is it not in the background? Why is it not becoming more and more visible? Right there. I even changed.
If people,
I even changed the name of that. I even changed the name of this live stream. Anybody, I don't care. I'll sit here and I won't say another word. I will just wait for a flat earther to come in one by one to answer this question and answer truthfully.
If any flat earthers on the chat want to come on and say this is perspective, that's fine. But I would like you to define what this perspective is and tell me how it applies to this.
I would also like to know the distance of that boat. If you actually just sort of, you can make a guess judging by the zoom, because that's a P1000. That's like 3,000 times zoom.
Right now, I have it looping.
3,000 millimeter zoom.
I have it looping, but in about 10 seconds, you'll see the true distance of the sun of the boats.
Cool.
As it loops, when it starts over, it will. See, that's the true distance right there.
Mr. Trouble About is not going to come in the chat. He's got a lot to
Again,
say, but he's not going
I'll
to do
repeat
it
it. The
personally.
whole time that camera starts zooming in, why do we not see more of the boat in the background?
No, flat is not a good enough word to describe what Earth is. The Earth is not flat. The Earth is a sphere. As near as makes a difference, a sphere. Like all other stellar bodies that we observe.
Way BMX, I have taken a many of stuff to Oakley. He's a bitch. He won't answer. Why? Because if he comes in here and has to answer to this, you know what he'll do? He'll talk shit. He'll avoid answering the question and then disappear.
Well, he won't come in at all because he likes to control people. He likes to be able to mute button, or he can insult them anyway.
Way BMX. Before you start talking about stuff like that, you should go back to Oakley's live stream today and watch the last 30 seconds and understand how ridiculous some of you guys are. And when I say some of you guys, it is definitely of that Nathan camp. Those frauds. True frauds.
I've tried to get on Nathan Oakley's panel before, and he wouldn't let me on. Why?
Trouble about, come in the chat and talk your smack in the chat.
Also, Derive-itis, if you want to come on the chat also.
No.
No one's going to call you names.
No shit talking to him. That's my boy. That's family right there. I made it clear. There's a bias there. That's family right there. And
I understand, but he's talking about.
You'll set him off.
He's saying that there are. Well, he's saying that there are name callers in the chat. I've called no one names, so if you want to come in and talk, we'll have an adult conversation.
I thought you were talking.
There's a 3,000.
That's my boy.
3,000 millimeter lens on that camera.
Again, I mean, see, the only thing...
and actually also no, unless you can prove that is it's actually cropped in and not zooming. Once it gets really really close, you can't prove that unless you have proof of that.
So Trouble's saying that
he's saying that the zoom only goes so far. And then what you're doing is just magnifying.
And no matter what,
so it
going
stops right there.
It's still going to make
it
larger.
That's magnification.
It should still appear more. It's a good enough zoom.
Well,
isn't this using a P1000?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is. The flat earther camera of choice.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that what the flat earthers love? So why are they criticizing it now?
I have no idea.
Because it disproves the flat Earth. That's photographs are only valid, and balloon footage is only valid if it doesn't show curve. As soon as it shows curve, they're somehow CGI.
Yeah, hey Bernie, absolutely. So everyone knows tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow we're gonna to do the simulation of the programming that Barney was gonna do for us. I'll get it out. I'll get the word out and the link right out there tomorrow early, way before it's gonna be on, so everyone knows when and what time. And Red, I'll send you a personal Hangout link so you can be here for it.
Okay, cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and Bernie, I'm going to message you after this 100% because I have some questions before we do it.
Okay, he's got, trouble about you've got time to type, but you don't have time to talk.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You've been sitting here.
No, that's nothing because I know Trouble About. Trouble About is a chat person.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. I know. I'm just trying to goad him into coming in.
Yeah, it's not a scared thing or anything with them.
I know. I don't play those. Yeah. I don't play those silly games. You must be scared.
Yeah, I know that person. And
come on,
it's not about
I mean, he's saying before, you're a liar. He's saying you're a liar. Flat earthers really do want to come in and flat earthers do want to prove things.
On a perspective issue, perspective only speaks to what you see, right? It never speaks to what you don't see. So it wouldn't even even speak on to obstruction at all.
Exactly. Well, like I said a minute ago, and this is as simplified as it gets. Perspective is I see. That's all it means. I see.
Right. So if something is obstructed, you can't see that. That means that's not a case of obstruction. Perspective doesn't speak on to obstruction. It only speaks on to what you can see. Right.
Oh, my caps lock. I didn't mean to shout that. Trouble about. I didn't mean to shout that.
Well, I mean, just the fact that the observations we see with sunsets, sunrises, the fact that you can uh, lay down and see a sunset and then stand up and see the sunset again twice, and there's no explanation for that on a flat Earth model at all.
Nope.
I mean, it's pretty much, that's pretty concrete right there. Well, I mean, this is the same test that's been done multiple times. Even on the Behind the Curve documentary, that's what the test was. They took a boat out with a board to show that it was being obstructed with clear lines on the board. I mean, even with the flat earthers standing right there, observing it with their own equipment, they still denied it.
Yep. What you need on that video, what that new video needs is caption explanation and just put on a loop, because it's, yeah, you can't, that, there's no way to explain that unless the boat is sinking. I haven't heard a flat earther yet say, oh, well, probably the boat's sinking.
Oh yeah, there was one of a sailboat, with big sail on it.
Yeah.
And you can't see the bottom of the boat, but you can see the whole sail. I was like, what is it? Is that a submarine sailboat? Is that what it is? It's a submarine sailboat with a submarine with a big sail on it. That's what it is. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only explanation why you can't see the bottom of the boat, but you can see almost the whole sail.
The second thing one thing needs to be confirmed, where the video stops zooming in. It stops with the two boats visible, then zooms in some more, and then pans to the left to show the smaller boat, then zooms in a little bit more. What we want to confirm is that is not that is actual zoom, not that it's actually been cropped in. I don't know how you in the footage you can, in the footage you can. Okay, but here's the thing. For example, on your iPhone. Okay, on your iPhone, when you can zoom in using the two lenses, but once you've zoomed in, the furthest, I forgot what it is, 110 millimeters. I can't remember what it is on the long range or the zoom lens on the iPhone. Once you've zoomed into those millimeters, that distance, you can't zoom in anymore. If you pinch and zoom, it's not zooming in. All it's doing is it's cropping in and closer to make the image bigger. And that was the accusation earlier. Okay. Okay. Well, actually, in that footage, it doesn't. What we need to do is confirm that that's what is going on, because some cameras will zoom in beyond the range of the optical range of the zoom, and they'll use soft zoom, which would be in electronics, and just make the picture in the viewfinder bigger, which is not zooming in. Does that make any sense? Okay, good. Right. I was just wondering, because Troublebout said that, and I'm like, okay, you know what, that is actually possible. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because once you get beyond, it zooms in, and then you see the same amount of the boat throughout the entire zoom process. And there's no reason why it should be lower than the other one. So it's a moot point anyway. Fun. Chirag, how are you going? Well, and here's the thing. I'm not an expert in many things. I get on these chats and I hear people talking about all sorts of different topics, and they're speaking very, very intelligently. I can speak intelligently about one topic, photography. So when someone says whatever it was that Seek said before, he used up some term, I can't remember what it was, and it was just he's just picking words out of the sky and just saying them. I mean, it's like saying, oh, I'm on my computer, I need more internets. You know, it's obvious. It's obvious he doesn't really know the terms. So. Oh yeah, me too. At this point, yeah.
Hey, Red, he used the term limited angle.
That's the word. Limit. Yeah, that's the term. Limited angle. It doesn't mean anything. Limited angle.
Gentlemen, what's up?
Yeah.
Chirag.
My to God, how are you?
Good, man. I just don't understand why this is contentious. What's going on?
This is a situation of whether or not you are honest in observational evidence. Ready?
Pete Shea in the chat.
Okay.
Pete Shea in the chat.
He's more than welcome. Hey, Pete, if you want to answer it, Pete, please answer it. Get any flat earther you know that is smarter than yourself. Get him here.
Dude, Pete Shea, jump on. So you can find. We got the heavy hitters.
Okay,
you know?
But here's the thing. I'm going to make it very clear right now. I am not diverging from this video, and I am not diverting from my question of why and wanting an explanation. Okay? Everyone that's listening, everyone that's in the panel, understand that this video is the topic for the rest of my stream until I get an answer. This is the only thing I give a crap about. It will not end until a flat earther is honest with their answer.
No, I know what you're saying. We can't weasel out of it. Fair enough. I get it.
So,
let's see.
Explain to me, in this what we're watching, we'll go ahead and get to it so I can give you a very good explanation for what I'm talking about. Okay, you see the boat with the black hole?
Dude, this is CGI, man.
Okay.
What is
this? Yep. Seek and
Chirag,
mind of
go
God.
there.
Good try. Next.
Chirag.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say no freaking ways. He said.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
That was going to upset me.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. You had me going for just a second right there.
Just a split second.
I've been listening. It's the same thing that we're dealing with. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not worth it to look at it, but it's the same argument that's been kind of building up now with this notion of a flat surface and things disappearing bottom up.
Okay, so let's get down to it. So,
okay.
And hang on, because someone in the chat believes he did. Okay, even the Earth is a sphere, and that's why. I like your style, Chris A. I like your style.
I like that, Chris. That's a good one, Chris.
Okay, so signify.
And Chris spelled paradoxically correct as well.
Yeah, I didn't even read that part. I couldn't read it. Anyway, the mind of God, a boat that appears to have gone over the curve. Are you in agreement that the flat Earth way of solving this issue is to zoom into it to bring the full boat back into view?
I'm not sure what you mean by solve it, but
can you bring a boat back into view if you use the zoom?
That would be the case on either, though. There's no
right,
like if you have a better.
Okay, so maybe you didn't hear it, but this is the flat Earth explanation, and maybe you just don't want to say it. The boat we see. So you see the boat with the black hole. The one to the left of it. You can only see a part of it.
Yep.
That is the boat we're going to be talking about. If I zoom into the footage zooms in, will more of that boat be seen?
The bottom, you mean?
More. So what you can't see now will.
Oh yeah. Overall, yes.
So the more. So what you're saying is the more we zoom in, the more boat hidden we'll see.
Yeah, it's not going to get less clear. Oh, yeah, for sure. So of course,
we'll see eventually that black hole.
Yeah, if you could zoom in, like perfect. Yeah, all the way.
Hey Sean, can you ask me one question? Is he like halfway? He's like halfway in the zoom right now.
The mind of God says he can explain this. So right now,
like
mind of God, what I'm going to do
Sean.
is I'm going to push play, and what you're going to notice is that the film zooms in.
Yep.
The boat on the left. Do you see more of what was hidden, or do you just see what was visible before larger?
You mind going back just so I can contrast?
Absolutely. Do you see how no more of the boat is being shown? Only what you see is getting larger because you're zooming in. You don't see more.
Yeah, I don't see how that's a contradiction to the stuff we're talking about.
Patently, it's a contradiction,
Wait,
though.
So here's the deal. Here's the
Nope. I told you this is different from regular stream. Again, you're saying that what we just observed is what flat earthers say will happen?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
not the understanding.
Just asking. So then why don't we see more of the boat as it zooms in?
Because it's like halfway through the zoom right now.
Okay, so then why don't we see a proportional amount of more being shown? Again, as you zoom in, you should see more and more and more as you zoom in more and more. So why doesn't that happen here?
There's no question that at this point it is not regular zoom. It isn't a soft zoom. That is optical zoom being used right now. If he keeps playing, the image on the left, the part of that ship that is missing, will remain completely missing. As he zooms in, you'll see no more of that, the masts in the back of the boat as you do now, which means that the idea that you can bring back stuff once it's gone beyond the horizon is basically untrue. And as is pointed out in the chat, I asked, and Chris is asking, and I asked this over 2 years ago.
No, that's why you got to
footage
watch.
of the sun, footage of the sun coming back into view after it's gone below the horizon.
You got to watch
no
a
such videos being forthcoming.
I was just watching it. So he's mathematically saying things over a flat surface. There's a certain way to.
We're not. This is not a flat surface. This is the curve. This is a sphere.
It isn't a flat surface. That's the problem.
No, but I thought you wanted a flat Earth perspective.
I want you to give me an answer for what we're seeing. And
there is none according to them.
No. I mean, there's definitely an answer.
Already made up.
And you guys have said,
based on the evidence, yes.
Listen, Flat Earth has said numerous times, if you zoom into a boat, it will come back into your view. Not what you see, but the whole boat.
That's too general of a statement, man. That's not.
Guess
no
what?
One will say
that is one observation that every flat earther thinks. I don't care what you say, if you say you do now or not. As a flat earther for 2 years, that was probably one of the things that was said to be able to be done as an observation. Now, explain to me why that's not happening here. And if you think differently, go ahead. Explain why you think it happens differently and what you expect to happen.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, the thing that is very, very in dispute is just the fact that even an item at all can have any amount of it disappear bottom up. That is not well understood on our side. So that's why I didn't understand. If people said that, they were taking too many steps forward. I don't think they really understood maybe the math. But now that Life is Short posted that, we have a better appreciation for a mathematical underpinning. As far as demonstrating it on a local level, there hasn't been very many examples. And I think that now he's given us a way
There hasn't been very many examples of boats over the curvature?
Forget about even the boats, because that's adding way more variables. I'm talking about even on local level without
what is it? What is adding way more variables? Because the more variables you have, the better of an answer you get.
No, Sean, wait, let me take a step back. Here, think about this, dude. I'm telling you, and I'm conceding this point from the flat earth side, there is not enough data points to even show that it's even possible to have an item disappear bottom up in an idealized situation. Forget about this.
On a flat earth.
That's what I'm saying.
On a flat earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, forget about this situation.
Okay, well,
we're not even there
the problem with that is that remember I was talking about these experiments you're talking about doing, and how each time you get to a certain point, explanations will start branching off for why things happen in each way for each thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the same thing here. So if you're saying that there isn't enough data points or whatever, or for any reason of not having enough information, it would not change the sphere Earth reason and explanation for it being true over and over and over again. Which means, in those experiments that, for instance, like the ones you want to do, this one has been done multiple times, and multiple times, each time, we show evidence for curvature and evidence or proof that flat Earth is wrong in that zooming in will bring the rest of the boat back into view. Do you understand that this video does exactly that?
I'm just saying, if that was the stance, it was they took too many steps forward. They went ahead of themselves.
Who?
Yeah,
Flat
because
Earth?
I would like to know why would you think? Yeah, because that's why I was asking earlier. You guys not answering the question about the horizon rising. What is that phenomenon? Why does that happen?
The horizon doesn't rise. Where is this?
Okay, so once again, let me ask you,
the horizon does not rise.
It doesn't
the
rise.
water, the physical water in this picture is under this guy's feet, right?
Your perspective is not correct. You can get a theodolite and it will show you 100% that the horizon does not rise.
Forget eye level. Forget eye level.
Does not
You're not
mean
listening. You're not listening.
Listen
You're
to
not
me.
listening.
There are theodolites. A
It
theodolite
rises,
will
period.
100% show
Doesn't
you
rise.
where the horizon is to your eye level. You need to understand that what you were saying can be proven wrong easily. So easily that not even a flat earther like Riley would say to do what you're saying.
But wait, Seek, let's be humble, bro. We have to take a step back. We first have to demonstrate to ourselves, most importantly than anybody, that an item has the ability, just from optics, to do that on even just a perfect surface. And we don't have enough data points yet, even for ourselves. Like, I did it in my apartment, but I don't trust that my apartment floor is perfectly flat.
Well,
So
all I'm saying is that there's an optical phenomenon that goes on. It's called perspective. Yes, it is. It's
the
not
word
that is.
Stop,
Man.
guys. Everyone stop.
The word perspective
Everybody
is a
stop
catch-all.
right now. Stop. Again, let me make this very clear so everyone understands what page reality is on. The word perspective means I see. It is not the description for something that happens. Okay? The boat is not hidden because of perspective.
Is different.
Your
it comes in the dictionary.
Listen, your explanation. Listen. When you say perspective, when it has to do with the observation, it is only that you see.
Okay,
when you're
let me
trying
know
to
when
explain why something is happening, for instance, the obstruction of that boat, perspective has nothing to do with that. Perspective says, I see. That's it. It does not explain anything else besides I see.
Okay, let's see if you answer this question. What is the reason that the water that is really below your feet appears to rise up? Not to your eye level, not all the way to your eye level.
I'll give it to you.
But it appears to ramp up. Why is that?
You ready? Because your eyes aren't reliable enough to give you elevation and distance accurately like you want. Therefore, we have instruments that will do it for us.
Perspective. You just basically said perspective.
I did not say perspective. Again, okay, let me explain it better. When I say, you said, why can't our eyes? Here it is. Because our perspective is not reliable. Our perspective is not precise. Our perspective only gives us so much. So we go out and we get instruments that will help us be more precise, more accurate. So when we say our perspective, we can say our perspective through a survey theodolite or total station or using lasers or using mirrors or using whatever is.
Because, no, that's not what he's asking. He's asking on a ball. He's asking on a ball what property allows that water to get elevated.
Of why.
Your statement made no sense.
My statement makes complete sense, but
no, it doesn't.
You still haven't answered the question.
I will say it one last time. Perspective means.
You want me to ask again so you know what I'm asking?
Go ahead, but remember, perspective means I see.
When you're making an observation, right, Sean, like over water, like say you're just at the beach, you're making an observation over water. The water is really beneath your feet. Yes or no?
Yes, I'll answer it. Yes.
Okay, but when you're making an observation over distance, it appears that the horizon rises, maybe not all the way to your eye level, maybe not exactly to your eye level, but it rises, it ramps up. What is the reason for that is all I want to know. And if it's doing that,
are not reliable.
That's not an answer.
It is 100% an answer. So how come when you look at that video, you can't tell me how far those are? Huh? You can see them. Why can't you?
Well, no, our explanation.
Again,
I told
I
you.
will ask
I
this
have to
question,
prove to
and
you.
all I want is the answer to this question. You
Well,
see
it
that
takes
boat.
steps.
How come you can't tell how far that boat is?
I'll tell you, it takes stages. We need multiple layers. We need to first prove it on a local level. Then it gives us a chance of saying that it's flat Earth. We're not even there yet.
Wait. I asked
Why
you a
aren't you there
question.
yet?
The mind of God. Can you look at that video and decide with your eyes, your perspective, how far that boat is?
I don't know why you're saying
simple.
with your eyes and your perspective. What do you mean? There's no point in using that terminology.
The mind of God. Can you see how far that boat is and tell me how far it is now? Go.
No, of course not.
Okay, you want to know why? Because your eyes are not reliable enough to tell your brain how far that boat is. What would you do?
Sean.
Now, what would you do?
That's not what my eyes are
What
for.
would you do to find out?
My eyes are not meant to tell me how far away things and give me a reading. That's not what they're
You're right,
designed for.
100% right. Thank you. Thanks, 100%. Thank you.
Sean?
That's a perfect answer. Now,
Hey,
get
earlier-
this. Get this,
But
guys.
everybody knows that. That's not even a point.
Now,
There's
get
no
this.
point in talking
Seek
about
and
that.
Find over here keeps wanting to know why that water appears to do that. Well, if it appears to do anything, it is because your eyes are not reliable. So we can go get an equipment which will tell us exactly how low the horizon is to our eye level. To your perspective.
All he's getting at is that phenomenon is the same as if you're in a flat hallway, it rises up and it happens on a flat surface. You gotta acknowledge that that's true.
Again, let me explain to you this. In a hallway, no. The top actually will go down on a flat hallway.
Hey, guess what? The ceiling's doing the same thing.
I've already shown
too.
that picture of a long hallway and it being from a 5 to 6 foot height, and it looks like the top is actually disappearing first. That is the difference. Now, in this image, explain to me why the boat is hidden.
The bottom is disappearing faster than the top. That's our theory. We have to back it up with
theory.
examples.
Doesn't work.
That's not a theory.
Continue again.
That's just an observation.
Go on.
No,
That's just saying the sky is blue. That's your theory. My theory is the sky is blue.
You don't know. Say, I don't know. That's the solution to it.
I know why.
I'll give examples.
Okay, fine. Seek and find. Tell me why. Because remember, you just asked a question. You didn't tell me why. So please tell me why that boat is hidden behind.
You still haven't answered.
Show me why it's hidden.
The water line, right? The horizon line. It's an apparent line. It's not even a real position. It's just an apparent line. But anyway, the water appears to ramp up due to perspective. The ceiling, the atmosphere is doing the same thing.
Your perspective.
See, I always get cut off.
You're right.
You want to hear the answer, but you really don't.
I told you I'm going to make this very serious. Listen to me, Seek and Find. If you say something that is not correct, I'm going to correct it. Because what you keep saying over and over again, you're blatantly doing. Perspective is not, and listen to me. Perspective is what you do. Perspective is not an explanation for why something happens. Your perspective has nothing to do with why that boat happens that way. When you talk, you say that is your perspective shows.
Talking about the horizon here, Sean.
Perspective is not an answer. Please take that into note.
We're talking about the horizon. I wasn't even talking about the boat. I was talking about the horizon.
So you cut me off. You cut me off. Yeah, you did. You said
correct me, and you weren't even right.
Said because of perspective. Those were your exact words. If you don't believe me, I will 100% replay what you said. Is that what you want? You want me to replay what you said, or do you want to admit that's what you said?
I'd like to say what I'm trying to say without being cut off.
Did you say that? Did you say because of perspective?
Man, if you mute your mic and let me talk, maybe you'll find out.
Did you say that?
Sean G, man, take it easy on my boy over here. You can't do that.
I'm going to say this one more time so everyone understands where I'm coming from. I do come from a very respectful attitude, but here's the problem I'm having at this very moment. I consider Seek and Find a good friend. Now, here's the reason I'm having an angry situation, as you guys are hearing. Because my friend Seek and Find, who I would hope is as honest as possible with me, would at least take into consideration that his wording is wrong. That perspective is not something that happens. It is what you're doing. So then, therefore, when I ask, why is all that boat hidden behind something? Or why is it hidden? Perspective cannot be why. And he has continuously said, because of perspective. And that is not correct.
Right.
Sean, just give it a second. Let me chime in for a minute. Could I?
But go ahead. But do not leave this situation. I am not changing subjects.
The key issue is the use of these sort of terminologies. The use of these terminologies aren't born from a knowledge of the terminology. It's born just basically from the idea that you have to come up with an explanation for things. When you don't have an explanation for things, use the closest one that you can understand. The closest one that Seek and Find can understand, right? Perspective. That's perfectly acceptable that he is using that term to explain the phenomena that he sees.
Sir, he wasn't going into a complete explanation. He was just asking about the water rising. He had he did not even make an attempt to do the comprehensive
precisely
analysis, sir.
Yes,
words
exactly.
in our mouth.
The issue. Okay, the issue is.
They know I'm not going to sit here and yell over them. So this is just a tactic they like to do.
This is madness, dude. We were just asking about the water rising. Isn't that a phenomenon on flat surfaces?
No, the water doesn't rise.
Do not put me in that spot. Do not say that's my tactic. Because my tactic, listen to me. Because you just made an accusation that really pissed me off.
Can I finish my thought? Can I finish my thought?
No, because this is my shit. Seek and Find. You just made a fucking comment that really got under my skin because like I said before, I see you as a friend. And what I told you about perspective not being a reason for something to happen, you should be, as a friend, honest. Perspective is not the reason something happens. So do not say the reason it is because of perspective.
So here's the thing about the use of the word perspective. It doesn't really explain things. So when you use the term perspective, that's perfectly fine to use the word perspective. If that's what you want, if that's what you got, that's what you got. The issue really is that we have explanations for these things. And on the flat earth side, they don't have explanations for these things. So when you ask for an explanation, you're only going to get a very, very limited.
Yeah, we conceded that. Sure, we conceded that already. You're just rehashing exactly what we've already said. We conceded that. I told you we have not demonstrated rigorously that in real life an object can be obstructed bottom up on a perfectly flat surface. We have mathematical underpinnings. We have a few kind of examples here and there. But no, we do not have a real solid agreed on both sides, and without that, we have no hope. We have no hope of explaining that.
Wait.
I'm going to tell you now
that our side.
I mean, I put one up, but I need to verify that the ground's flat. But we're going to start doing it.
Has an explanation, and can be explained with that explanation multiple times. Okay, so don't say we can't explain because we can.
That's fine. That's fine. If they can't explain it, that's fine. That's completely fine. If they can't explain it,
we're not there yet.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that interests me. Okay, when I first started getting into this, flat earthers told me, and they said, "Oh, the globe Earth is just a recent phenomenon. People believe flat Earth."
How new is it actually?
Well, I have no idea. So how is it that the flat Earth idea has basically no explanations for anything? You're just arriving on the scene and saying the Earth is flat, and it's like you don't have any explanations for anything.
Check this out.
It's amazingly humorous.
Once you do the bottom up in the flat, a lot of the math in the ball Earth is garbage, so that will get dismissed. And then we just do something like my GPS test, and then it's over.
So
it's
you
not
understand
that
something. Seek and Find, the Mind of God, anyone who wants to come on the panel, you're going to have a 10-minute window to brainstorm a good answer. Or, I don't know, it's perfectly fine with me because I'm going to smoke. And I'm going to not say a word for 10 minutes.
I don't think 10 years.
You guys really take the time to figure out a good answer or be honest and say you don't know, period.
Like a year or two, most.
Chirac,
Seek and Find,
you can have 10. It wouldn't make any difference.
10 for sure.
I'd like to address your question is, you think that the water rises because of perspective, is that correct? Or did I say that wrong?
Yes, that's why it rises.
Yeah, like a hallway.
Yeah, like if you were in a long, stretched out hallway, the floor would appear to rise, the ceiling would appear to, like dip down an angle.
So you're basically talking about why do things look like they converge to a point, correct?
Say that again, you're kind of breaking up.
You're saying that seem like they to a point, correct?
You're still breaking up.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up, but yeah, if it's long enough, it would seem to converge to a point. But because of those phenomenon of like the floor ramping up, like this water's ramping up, once it gets to that point of whatever that horizon is, that apparent line. Once it starts going past that point, it'll start to seem like it's going bottom, bottom, disappearing bottom, before the convergence of it getting smaller,
In a hallway? Have
we're
you
not
seen that in a hallway?
talking about over water, man, where the hallway has a ceiling.
Yes,
Outside has an atmosphere. The atmosphere is not like the ceiling.
Seek, it appears to do that because the Earth is curved.
According to you, but
According to what we observe. That's what we observe. That's why it happens that way.
My ultimate
looking at the
question
evidence
is-
and then wondering why that happens. We don't wonder why that happens. We know why that happens.
okay, man.
Well, there you got the video right there.
So my ultimate question is: are you saying that the boat appears to disappear bottom up because of that perspective, of what that idea of perspective? Is that correct?
Yeah, like what I'm saying, that first boat, that boat that's in the middle of frame, is in front of it's like in front of the convergence point, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to call it. You know what I'm saying? But that, I don't even know. We don't even know how far this boat right here is away. Like, y'all won't even give no numbers on it. You know what I'm saying?
Sean was going to give a number, and he didn't give a number in the end. I was disappointed.
Yeah, but to ask somebody a local question like that without even giving the parameters of what's going on, it's kind of crazy, man.
Well, because here's my issue with that. So perspective means if something is going further, it would get smaller in angular size as it goes further. But that's not what's happening with the boat. The boat is not just getting smaller in angular size. It's disappearing completely from the bottom up.
It's disappearing bottom up because of the perspective of, like I said, that water that we all know it's beneath his feet, but it's ramping up. And that water, you can't see through water, but it's ramping up for a reason, and that reason is perspective. That's just the way our eyes work. It appears.
You're repeating.
Okay,
You're repeating a nonsensical statement. You're repeating two nonsensical statements. You're just saying perspective, and that's how our eyes work. That doesn't make any sense.
So you
you're looking at observation, but instead of
water that we're looking at right now, or if you're, 6 feet above, the water, and you're making a long observation, you disagree that water that is beneath your feet appears to ramp up. You disagree.
Why would it appear beneath your feet if you're looking at a long hallway?
No, it appears to ramp up. We know it's beneath your feet.
Why does it ramp up?
But it appears
in a hallway, if you look down a hallway, the top of the ceiling will appear to get lower.
See, I'm not talking about the hallway. I'm talking about being at the beach and just looking out over water.
Just listen to my reply for a second, and I'll explain why I'm going down the hallway. The horizon. If you look down a hallway, the ceiling will appear to get lower, and the floor will appear to get higher. At no point will the hallway, if it's flat, appear to go below. It will stay right at its perspective, right in the middle. That's perspective, okay? When you get right to the bottom, and before you can't see any further than that.
How long is the hallway we talking about? It's like,
I don't know.
None of us are going to stand in the hallway that's
a mile. Let's say a mile.
Let's say, we can say however long. It doesn't matter. However long you want. We can say infinite, but it's never going to disappear from the bottom up on a long hallway.
Yeah. Yes, if it's flat, it would never do that.
We're showing in some cases it does, so it's possible.
If the hallway isn't completely flat, but we're saying in a hypothetical situation, if you had a hallway that was 10 kilometers long, and you got a zoom lens, and you got like a 10,000 millimeter zoom lens,
nothing to do with the zoom, but okay.
And you lit the entire hallway, and you zoomed in and in and in and in and in. At no point, if it was flat, would the floor appear to. It would always be a little higher, and the ceiling would always be a little lower. If it was flat, if you think of it as a video game, okay, think of it in video game terms.
We're talking about a hallway that has 4 walls around it. It's a confined space.
Yes,
this is the same concept. That's what we're trying to say.
It's not
the hallway would never curve down.
The only thing that you're seeing ramp is the water. The sky's not doing the convergence that the hallway's doing. You're in an open.
If you were looking on a flat, completely flat, 10-kilometer long hallway, completely flat, the floor would get higher, the ceiling would continue to get lower, and they'd meet in the middle, roughly at whatever Okay, but it would never appear to curve down. On the horizon, on the planet Earth, because the Earth is a planet, it's not flat. You see boats go out and they get lower. There's no reason on a flat Earth why the boat would get lower than your feet. it would stay at your feet level. How about we just say that? You got eye level.
You gotta watch Life is
Why
Short
does it go
video.
below foot level?
You gotta
How
watch
does
the
anything
video.
go foot level?
So
Watch
obstruction
the
is
video.
curvature, right?
Yeah, well, look at the video. Why is this boat in there on the horizon
Obstruction is
below
curvature.
foot level if the
Obstruction
Earth is not
is
curved?
curvature.
Yes, exactly. Give it up. It's,
So-
a, dead, it's a dead end. It's a dead
No,
argument.
keep an open
Give it
mind.
up.
We have examples that show
Well,
that
this
it
is
can
not
work.
an example of open-mindedness. This is an example of closed-mindedness. You've got the evidence.
No, I'm
right
telling you to
there.
open your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, from your end, yeah.
No, this isn't the example of you opening your mind and I'm not opening my mind. This is an example of
Yeah,
someone
you're
getting
saying it's
sucked
only
into a
one
conspiracy.
thing that could be doing this. It's only one thing. You're
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
being.
you're
the
right.
one being
One
closed-minded.
reason. There's only one reason why,
Yeah, with your
why
closed
something
minded-
in
yeah,
the
you're
distance
closed-minded.
would appear lower than you.
It's
Yeah.
not one reason because he's closed-minded. It's one reason because that's the only reasonable explanation that there is.
Well, then
Any
we'll be
other
proven
explanation
wrong. Well,
that
we'll be
you
proven
say
wrong. We'll
is
be
not.
proven wrong. It's okay. We'll be proven wrong. Just chill out. It's okay.
It's not because
will
we're
in time.
closed-minded. It's if you can prove that it's because of perspective. If you can give us analytical data because of perspective, then I would say, okay, you're correct. But that's not the case here.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think you would.
The Mind of God, you said that that science has holes or shows holes, or you have observations that show a different explanation for this. Can you please show it?
I mean, I already played the one that I did. I don't think people want to see it again unless they want to.
You're the carpet one.
Yeah.
You've already stated that doesn't show enough. You said it
No,
yourself.
I'm saying the math that Life is Short did, and then the test that we're doing. That's the starting point. We're getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, but see, again, like I was saying to you before, your hallway is nothing to the Earth, which is also what you agreed with, and why you're planning out to test with George and Jesse and them, right?
No, but I'm also going to do in parallel. I might go to the YMCA this weekend across the street and go on the basketball court. But
Okay.
no,
but
it's
again, do you know how a basketball court is built?
I mean, again, it's not conclusive, but I'm going to try it there too.
Okay, but you need to understand what is built and how things are built.
Okay,
And
so
if
what
they're
would you
built
suggest?
on drainage,
Yeah.
if they're built flat or level, you need to know those things too.
So what would you suggest? Because I would say the water's nice, flat, and level, but we can't use that. So what would you suggest
I
use
suggest you guys go to the
that's
beach
flat
and do
that we can
exactly the
test it?
same observation, because this is the observation we're talking about.
Since level water's not flat and we can't test it on that, what would you suggest we test it on?
Do you not understand that you can have flat and level, but you can't have, or you can also have flat that is not level? You know that, right?
What about level?
According to you guys. According to you guys, yeah. You're
According
right.
to according to you guys, what do you have that shows any different?
No, I'm just saying level for you guys is not what we consider level. So
Okay,
that's,
but
that
level
terminology is
in
different.
reality is level regardless of what side you're on. I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah,
not
what's
you
level?
guys. It
I
isn't
like
you
that.
guys.
Your definition of level is perpendicular to the force of gravity.
Chirag, when you
Okay,
refer to
well, our
when you
level
refer
has
to
our level that is explained that way can back it up. Can you?
Chirag,
I'm not
Chirag.
nitpicking that. I'm just telling you that's what you guys say.
No, it's
Sure.
what we
When you
know.
say
It's
you
what
guys-
we know. Period.
So y'all
when
changing
you
the
say,
definition of level.
can you hear me?
Fit your-
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. When you guys say, well, sorry, yeah, I just said it. When you say you guys, what you're referring basically everybody that's ever studied it in the history of mankind. Not
Yeah, dude, we don't
not
have to go
just
down
Sean
this.
and
We
I.
believe
Yeah,
God
yeah,
behind
just
the
define
world.
level, man. Don't
we're
take
talking
it
about
on this road.
everybody that's ever studied it in every continent,
Do this
every
every time you don't
country
want to answer a
in the
question.
history
Start-
of the
Yeah,
world.
we get that, but sir, we believe some of us believe God's behind the deception, man. It's clever.
Okay,
He's
and I
smart.
believe
He's really
you're
good
a
at
pro.
math. He's good at optics. He's
Let's,
really
you
good at.
know,
He's very deceptive. He's good at these kind of things.
God made a planet.
So here's the thing:
Deceive
seek and find. So level means it's perpendicular to the force that's acting on it. In this case of the Earth, that means gravity. That's the force that's acting on water. So that means it's level. But a table can be flat and still be not level.
Sure.
So you're using that. So you're using those interchangeably to describe
So
water.
if I wanted to go level off some liquid, right, or water, I'm trying to. I mean, it's a natural level, man, and level means in a horizontal nature on the surface. So I don't know where y'all
No,
getting
it does
this
not
from.
mean that.
Okay, demonstrate it. Demonstrate what you're saying. You can't just say it's perpendicular to gravity without a demonstration. Demonstrate it to me, and maybe I'll believe it.
Levels are perpendicular to gravity. I said they work.
Where's the demonstration of water
You got a
being
bubble
affected
level
by
on your
this
phone?
force, sticking to the exterior of a shape because of this force, making it level around a sphere? Where's the demonstration? It's just
planet.
like it's
The
just like y'all
demonstration is
believing
going
in
up into orbit and
all
taking
this
photos.
space travel, but they can't put a human in a vacuum on Earth. But you'll believe it.
Why do you want to put a
there.
vacuum? You're talking.
But
You're talking in
they can't-
circles.
They won't show it to you here on Earth. It's
And
just
we
talking
are
in circles.
diverting from what I have said is not going to be diverted from.
No.
Explain
No.
this observation. Stop explaining crap.
we're just talking about level water, man.
Once we show you guys the straight, once you guys
Does level
do it
water
over
have
straight-
anything? Hey, does level water have anything to do for you to explain this observation?
You don't want to hear my explanation,
Does
man.
it?
We already heard your explanation.
You're
Your
not-
explanation
Stop.
of
Everyone stop.
how
Stop.
eyes work in
Seek and
perspective.
find. Again. Once again,
It's
go
like
ahead.
the
Explain your explanation.
No, I'm
No
not
one
going
else
to
will
repeat
talk.
myself. Man.
Go.
You're not going to. I already know you're not going to accept it. Why would I keep repeating?
You know what? I won't even correct you if you say something
See,
wrong.
y'all
Go.
like keeping it in this little circle talk.
If
crap.
no, seek and find. No, stop. Everyone, seek and find. Put me in that category again, and I will start acting like I'm in that category. I'm going to tell you that right now. Do not put me in the same boat as people that disrespect you, and do not put me in that same boat that do not give you the opportunity to explain what you say is wrong.
Are you or are you not trying to keep the conversation right here after I
Yes,
already gave
because
you
I have not
information
done an
that you
explanation
don't
for this
accept.
that you say
don't
you
accept
can't
it.
explain. So
Yeah,
go
you
ahead,
like-
explain it. Go.
Sean, here's the
I
thing.
judge you by your fruits, bro. You show me your fruits, that's what I'm judging you by.
Do
Don't
you
troll
really
him.
want to go down that road, seek and find?
Don't troll him.
Do you really want to go down that? Stop, Red. Do you really want to go down that road, seek and find?
No, we don't. Sean, chill out. No, please, man. Let's all get along. There's a lot of turmoil in the world. We
Okay.
don't add to it. You know what I mean?
Sean, can I have a word?
Go ahead.
They don't have an explanation.
No, we don't yet. We don't. That's it.
No.
Confess. We don't.
That's point
The
one.
mind of
It's not
God,
exhaustive.
I give you all the
not.
fucking
Let me finish.
respect. Hang on. I give you
Can I
all the
finish?
respect in the world, mind of God, for saying that. Thank you.
No, but it's true. We don't have a comprehensive
That's point
understanding
one.
yet.
That's point one. Second point, you will never have any idea.
Well, no, that's your
you will
opinion.
never
That's
have
your
that.
opinion. I won't be heartbroken if it's not reality. It won't
What
be
I want to do is, in this conversation, just right now, just for this sake of this conversation, all I really want to do is save you the time and save you the trouble. You're
Don't
wasting
worry,
your
man.
time.
We got the Bible at stake. I got time, man. It's
Don't
okay.
mention the Bible. I believe the Bible.
I'm allowed to mention whatever I want, sir.
I believe in the Bible. The Bible doesn't say the flat Earth is flat.
Don't tell
God did
me
not
what
make
I
the flat
can
Earth. The end.
I mentioned it. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. I
Okay,
meant
well-
it. Don't tell me what I'm allowed to mention, sir. If you don't like hearing
The
it,
Earth
just
isn't
move
flat.
on.
You're wasting your time.
Well, we don't care. The Bible says it is.
You sure hear a lot. What the hell are you doing, man? Because it seems kind of insane to sit here and argue with some people that
It seems insane to think the Earth is flat in 2019.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
once we show an object disappear on a flat surface, a lot of your math gets destroyed, and then the GPS test will end it.
It's
It'll be-
never going to happen.
I'm just saying.
I just want to
two
see
steps and
the
it's over.
trouble. Go to the Salton Sea. I mean, do whatever you want. I just want to save you the
Once you
trouble.
show an object can disappear over a flat surface, that proves that there's a chance that some of these are because of the flat water. And then we have one more rigorous test, and then there's not much debating after that. And if we can't get past the first one, the second one's not going to work, obviously, because
Right.
the Earth is curved.
Well, knock yourself out. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's why we're here on these dialogues. We're not here just to listen to you and you tell us the Earth is a ball. That's not why we come on these. You kind of figured that out.
I'm just, well, no, I know. My
You know
thought
why
is
we're
this.
on these debates, right? To talk about the shape of the Earth, right? You get that.
The good thing is that this isn't a
Yeah,
debate.
and I'm telling you,
this
the
is
Earth
not a
isn't-
debate. This
Yeah,
is
we
a
like
discussion.
to
This is a
debate.
place where you
Like
have an
bound to be
opportunity.
a
This
back and
is a
forth.
place you have an opportunity to show your observations that prove a flat Earth. I have given you guys a platform for the past
think you come
few
prepared.
weeks. You guys have not produced any evidence. I have now decided that here you go. Explain this, which is extremely obvious evidence for a globe, and you've decided to make stuff up, I guess. Not you, mind of God. You
Okay,
have said you
I
don't
think
know,
we can
and
move
I
on now.
appreciate
You
that.
don't even understand why the water is rising up. You're just saying don't trust your eyes. That's nonsense.
Again,
That's gibberish.
me saying don't trust your eyes is the honest truth, because
the
I
hell does
asked
that
you a
mean?
question and it was very clear, and I did it for a
What does
reason.
that mean, though?
I
Don't
said it
trust
for
your
a
eyes. What does that
reason.
mean?
I said it for a reason. I said, "Can you tell how far that boat is with your naked eyes?" You said no, and there's a reason for it. Because your
No, but what
eyes
does don't
cannot
trust
do
your
that.
eyes
The
mean?
reason that the
What kind
horizon
of
looks
typical
the way it
statement is
does and the water isn't so below your feet and so obvious to you is because your eyes suck. My eyes
No, they don't.
suck.
No, they
That's
don't. Yours,
why
right?
we have
Yours are good.
survey equipment. That's why we have
Yours, like,
laser
no,
levels.
mine are fine.
That's why we
Mine are
have
fine,
levels
dude. I
in
think-
general. That's why we have tape measures to tell us the distance. There
My
are
eyes are
reasons
fine,
why
dude.
we have these tools, and the reason for those tools are to give us correct answers. So if you're going to tell me again that the way something looks is the reason why, I would ask you, what tools, what instruments, what equipment did you use to come to that conclusion, and how do you get to do it again?
No,
So we can observe it
you're not
again.
making any sense, bro. That don't go down that road because it makes no sense.
I'm going to go down that road because that road is the same road that you hold every glober to that you don't want to see, but you hold us all to when it comes to observations and science. So now it's time for you guys to do the same. Here,
Yeah, we're learning
it's
about
not
our
about
eyes. We're trying to see-
listen again.
we're trying to see-
Here, it is not about who made the claim. I can give a shit less if I claim the Earth is a globe. I can care less if you claim the Earth is flat. The point of here is for you to explain what's being seen on the image that I am showing right now. Anything besides an explanation for what we are observing right now on the screen, I could give a shit less about.
Okay, but let me clarify the one statement you made about don't trust your eyes. So the whole thing about what we're doing here is to learn more about our eyes. We're trying to see, is it even possible for our eyes to confuse an item across a flat surface bottom up? We're learning. If that's not true, and it'll never happen,
The
you guys
answer
win.
is
It's fine.
yes.
We already
there
have.
are 1,000
No, for you
reasons for
guys,
things that we observe to change
we already
because
have
of
one.
mirages and optics.
We have tests that show
But there
otherwise.
are instruments and tools that we can get to get the accurate answers. Do you not
I mean, I
understand
can play
that?
it. We can play it right now if you want to see one example, but we have tests that show that it can happen, and
share
then
it, please.
life is short is doing the
Please,
math, and then
share
we're
it.
just going to produce more
Share
tests.
it now, and I will
And you
show
can-
it.
Okay, and where are you going to show that evidence? Can I ask you
Share
that?
the link.
I can share my screen if you want, but
No,
I already showed
put the
yesterday.
link. Put the link in the chat in the chat box. What I'll do is I will split screen it because I am not taking this image off this screen until it's
You won't-
answered or
sure.
I'm done streaming.
The futility
I will
of
not
this.
leave this conversation, this topic, what we're observing, this observation, until it's answered or everyone that is a part of the flat Earth says reality is reality and they don't know.
You won't get an answer
Or,
tonight that
yes,
satisfies
that is
you. You
evidence
won't.
for curvature.
You won't get an answer tonight that satisfies you for sure. It's going to take a bit of time. Again, we're starting from scratch on everything.
That's interesting that you're starting
You know
from
what?
scratch.
Mind you,
Yeah,
God,
we don't trust the
mind you, God,
government. We don't trust
that
our
is
teachers.
as
We don't
about-
trust.
You are not
that
starting from
is
scratch.
about
Flat Earth has
as
been around
obvious-
longer than globe Earth.
Yeah, what you just
There's
said.
you are
Explain
not
that
starting
to
from
me.
scratch.
I would like that explained.
Fletcher, are you telling me I've lived in a past life and I had the chance to fix this in a past? What on earth? are
The
you talking
idea
about?
of flat Earth has been around longer than the globe Earth.
And was
so
I there
flat
to go?
Earthers have had
was I
plenty
there to
of
go
time to do this.
Was I there to go and do tests in those times?
I love this.
Did I have a time machine to go into those times and do stuff? What are you talking about? We've discovered this in the last 3 or 4 years. We're trying to wrap our head around how this deception could even be implemented.
Wait. Did you just say that flat Earth is only a few years old?
For me personally,
Okay, just understand though what Fletcher
You
was
said
saying-
we.
what-
That's
yeah,
BS.
yeah,
You
exactly.
said we.
I know
We've
you did.
only had a few years.
Yeah, well, guess what?
So
my
who
God?
else are you talking about then?
Thousands of years.
yeah, a lot of people now who are starting now. The optics and stuff are starting to come out. We know what you guys believe, and we know what would have to be true in our reality.
No. You know what we
You've
know.
known what we've
Telescopes-
believed
You
for
believe
centuries.
what
What are you
you
talking
believe we
about?
are
No,
wrong.
actually, this
Prove
optical thing,
different.
I only realized in the last few weeks talking to Rumpus that you guys believe that an object can never disappear bottom up on a flat surface. I didn't know that nugget that you guys literally would say that would never happen. I honestly didn't know that. So now
Show where it
retarded.
happens.
It's retarded.
Show me where it happens. Show me why the observation we're looking at right now happens. If you
No,
got
I
all
would
this
need to
figured
know-
out,
I would need to know
Rumpus
that
has Ray.
truth.
If you got it all
I would
figured
need to
out,
know that
and Ray,
truth.
if you have it all figured out, and Rumpus has given you all the wonderful answers you think you need, answer this observation.
yeah, I'm telling you, we would need to display it on a micro scale first to even have a
Do
chance
you
at this.
hear yourself? What microscale do you need to put this video observation on to tell
No,
what's
micro
happening?
scale. On a local level, we need to prove the
It's
concept.
as local as it gets. It's right there.
No, we're debating what the shape of the Earth is. We can't use this as a test bed because the shape is dubious.
Near a beach.
So we have to use a flat surface like a wood or
Near a
something.
beach.
What's that?
Do you live near a beach?
Say that once more.
Do you live near the beach?
No, I mean I'm not far from Galveston, but like
Okay.
an hour away.
So you're an hour from the beach.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
I
live
will
on a
pay
beach.
your
I live
gas
on a
money.
beach.
I will pay your gas
I live on
money
a
to
beach.
go to the beach and make this observation yourself. Bring it
Sean,
back
I
and
don't
explain
know if
what
you're
you
doing
see.
this on purpose or you just don't understand what I'm explaining. That there
No,
is a major
because if
technical
you're
difference.
saying you need more time
No, no,
and
no,
you need to make
listen to
more
this. There's a
observations, I
technical
just gave you
difference.
what you need to
There's
do.
a technical difference on all levels about a flat surface disappearing bottom up. That is on water, that is on a piece of wood, that is on a basketball court, everywhere. That needs to be explored in all levels. So why would we go first to the very shape that we're debating to test it? Why not understand if it even happens
Why would
ever
you go to the
anywhere?
first shape? What the hell are you? Why would you? No. See, here's how it works. You would go to the beach. You would make an observation. You would take a video of your observation, and that observation would give you evidence. That evidence you would take into account, put it together, and that evidence will give you the shape of the Earth. That's how it works. It's not you go to the beach where
I
it's
don't think you
not that you
understand.
go
I
to
don't
the
think you
beach.
understand
It's
what's
not
going
that
on.
you go to the beach where it is
I
curved.
understand what's going on.
I don't
It
think
is
I don't
not
think
that
Sean.
you
Can
go
you
to
help
the.
Sean?
I
Sean doesn't
will
understand.
finish what the fuck I'm saying. Period. You do not
Hey.
go to the beach. You do not go to the globe
I
beach
have an idea.
to make an observation, and then you go to the flat Earth beach to make that observation. Do you understand
we
that?
can't
It's a
that.
flat Earth beach.
Yeah, we can't use that as the test bed because the shape is in question. We can't
Okay,
use
let me get
Because
this
actually-
straight. No, stop. Let me get this straight, mind of God. You believe
Yeah.
there is a globe beach and a flat Earth beach.
No, that's what you believe.
Okay,
You believe
let
the
me
level
make this
water is
clear.
curved,
The
that's
mind
what
of
you-
God.
Neither of us
Everything
believe
that I
that.
said about respecting how you're thinking about these things is ridiculous. There is
Sean,
not
you
a
want me to
globe
go-
beach. There is
You
not
want
a
me to
flat.
go to a
There.
flat beach.
Okay, let me
You
make
want me
this
to go to
fucking
a
clear to
flat beach and then
everybody.
a globe beach, but those don't exist, so we can't.
Let me make this very clear to everyone that is listening and on my fucking hangout when I do make another hangout. I will not. Let me repeat this one more time. I will not allow and I will not tolerate bullshit answers at all. I tried being nice. I tried only allowing respectful conversation. But because you guys have decided that talking to me like I'm some kind of fucking idiot is going to fly, talking to me like I am stupid, talking to me like you think you know is not going to work anymore. There was always a point that I realized may happen, and it just happened. I've given 1,000% leeway to flat Earth. Why? Because I enjoy conversation, and I know there are things that need to be heard even from that side. But what has happened are people that I respect, people that I consider friends, are blatantly lying to my face, blatantly bullshitting me and calling me fucking stupid. I have not brought anything to this table that is not out of question or unanswerable. We have watched this loop over and over for the past 2 fucking hours. I asked for an explanation. Seek and find the mind of God. You have wordplayed enough. I'm going to tell you right the fuck now. Seek and find. 20 minutes ago, you questioned my integrity. Understand that you have been on my panel numerous times. You've heard me say that I have respect and consider you a friend. You show me, in the dozens of times we've talked, any disrespect towards you. Any time that I've talked to you or called you a fucking moron. Because that's what you did 20 minutes ago. If you don't think that's what happened, you can go back and replay what the fuck you said to me. Because seek and find, you are the first flat earth person that I considered a friend then I come to the conclusion of, you think I'm fucking stupid and you're taking advantage of my friendship to say stupid shit. If you want to get into that a little bit more, one-on-one, we can. The mind of God. You like to act like you have things figured out in the aspect of figuring shit out. But you only do it to divert to later on be an asshole. I gave you the opportunity. I told you I will pay your gas to go to a beach and make the same observation, then explain it. You come back at me with, why would you go to a globe beach to make a globe observation because you know it's flat? Then you say that I believe there's a globe beach and a flat beach. You said that. You made that assumption. You came across like the person who believes that. Not again. Not gonna happen. Guys, I'm fucking done being talked to like I'm a fucking idiot. I'm done talking to Globers like they need to calm the fuck down and stop doing this and that, because you guys deserve the opportunity to explain and figure things out. Because it is clear to me now that so far, the flat earthers that have been on my panel are more than willing to look in my face and disrespect me. If that's the way it's going to be, fine. But understand this. Right now is the turning point that flat earthers, the ones that do talk to me, the ones that do still, quote unquote, have respect, the next time any of you talk to me like I'm a shill, an agent, a liar, or any of the fucking above, I'm going to cut you from my life. Until it whittles down, hopefully it doesn't, but until it whittles down to zero. Because the only thing I'm here to do at this point is show flat earthers that I know that there are flat earth snake oil salesmen selling them bullshit. But it's very clear to me, especially here in Seek and Find, who is someone who doesn't do experiments or make observations. He only listens to these creators, these flat earth content creators, and then comes here and repeats it. So if it's now to the point where I don't only have to give a shit about those snake oil salesmen, but now I got to worry about my friends blatantly bullshitting to my face, then I will go according. Understand that. I hold back in conversation to allow Flat Earth to get their word out, but now I'm tired. You can thank Seek and Find, and you can thank the mind of God for that. You want the opportunity to show me that Flat Earth isn't completely full of shit now? Prove me wrong. I have looped this observation over and over again that shows 100% evidence for curvature. This loop that I've been playing also shows proof that debunks Flat Earth's zoom will bring the full boat back into view. There is no we need to look into. There is no we need more time. Guess what, Flat Earth? You have gotten an observation with evidence that proves your explanation wrong. You are looking at evidence that shows curvature, which adds to the other things, the other evidence that piles on, which we can make with the same observation for the globe. It is not flat. It is a globe. There is no evidence for flat. Stop talking like saying something that the globe doesn't explain correctly or to 100% proves flat, because it doesn't. It only shows that there are phenomena that science cannot explain, and they are the ones that gave you that information. So they must not have been lying about everything. So let me make this clear again. I'm going to start a hangout. Don't come on my fucking hangout unless you have a reason to, which means you have an explanation. Or you're going to say, oh shit, Sean, another flat earth explanation I can't use anymore. Oh shit, Sean, an observation that flat earth can't explain. And yes, it is evidence for what the globe explains. Anything besides that is bullshit, unless you have an actual explanation for it. If not, enough's enough. The mind of God, you don't know it's flat, and you don't know it's a globe, because you don't understand. How do I know that? Because yesterday on my stream, on recording, you understood that you don't know. So how the fuck would you go to a globe beach? How the fuck would you go to a flat earth beach? Why would an observation matter at all? An observation is an observation. Tired of being ran through the mud, talk shit about, and act like I've done nothing but disrespect, when in actuality, I've given everyone the opportunity to present, given everyone the opportunity to discuss their views, and I have not disrespected any of you guys. Why do you disrespect me? Decided. The observation you guys are looking at, the $100 that I have offered up as the challenge, will go on. Matter of fact, I'm going to make this to you guys. Anything this fucking channel makes for the next 3 months will go to a pool. The flat earther that explains this observation correctly, as in how it could work on a flat earth and be correct. I don't give a fuck if you just think. I want you to show exactly how it's correct, to show that's what we're looking at. You will get that. Until then, things are definitely going to change. There's no more leeway to flat earthers because I was a flat earther. Seek and find, I told you that 100 times already, numerous streams. The reason I was doing this